How you doing? What show are we on?
Truth is viral.
The truth is viral, people. So take 2 penicillins and call me in the morning.
Places you don't talk about at parties. You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
Keep this frequency clear.
And now it's conspiracy. See, they've made that something that should not be even entertained for a minute. That powerful people might get together and have a plan. Doesn't happen. You're a kook. You're a conspiracy buff.
You're watching The Truth is Viral, the only news program on the internet trusted to deliver the truth since 2008. And now, here's your host, Mr. Bobby Powell.
Welcome back to The Truth is Viral. My name is Bobby Powell. I've been busy this week, kids, and tonight I have an all-star J6 lineup for you. Thanks to Zach Payne of Red Pill 78 News and Joe Oltman of Conservative Daily over on Frank's Speech. We'll be hearing from Ashli, Babbitt's mom, Micki Witthoeft, Benghazi hero Tiegen, J6 defendant AJ Fischer, filmmaker David Sumerall, video researcher Gary McBride, Citizens Against Political Persecution co-founder Randy Ireland, and Tommy Tatum, who was with Roseann Boyland while she was being beaten to death by a D.C. police officer. Before we start the show, I need to remind you that you are responsible for getting this information out there. And if you don't want your children to grow up in a progressive dystopia, you will get it done. Pedo Hitler named every red-blooded American an enemy of the state last night, and it's only a matter of time before they take action to eliminate the mega threat to democracy, as he called it.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic. That the Republican Party today is dominated, driven, and intimidated by Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans. And that is a threat to this country.
Our representatives in Congress aren't going to help. Your favorite network talking head isn't going to help. I've had 19 months to talk to all of them. Don't ask me, did you try sending it to fill in the blank, because the answer is yes, I did. They're all either afraid of the FBI, they're afraid of losing their paychecks, or they're waiting for the most politically opportune time to drop this Moab on the deep state actors that attacked our nation. Either way, they're cowards, and it's up to us to pick up the slack. In the description below this video, you'll find contact information for dozens of media contacts, and I want you to send my URL to my Substack to all of them. Tell them what they will find there. Start with Joe Rogan, Mark Dice, and Steve Crowder. I'm sure that there are other media outlets I haven't listed, so send my Substack to your favorite broadcaster and ask them to have me on their show. Now, I also need you to donate generously to this fight. Every last dime that I have saved for my retirement is gone, and it takes a lot of money to produce The Truth is Viral and fight for our children's futures. Ashli's mom invited me to Washington, D.C. to cover the nightly vigils that they're holding outside the D.C. Gulag, and I might get the chance to speak at a huge rally on September 24th if I can get there. It's going to cost money that I don't have. So please go to givesendgo.com/Bobby Powell to donate whatever you can today. And now that that's all out of the way, we'll kick things off with Conservative Daily's Joe Oltman and Tiegen and Ashli Babbitt's mom, Micki.
My fellow Americans, are you tired of the new normal? Are you tired of the lies?
You know, the thing that the mainstream media and big tech says doesn't exist?
It is time to end it.
We must keep going. If you can't fly, run. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. But by all means, keep moving.
Many of you are sitting here because you're wanting to know what the plan is.
This has to be peaceful. We have the right to peacefully assemble.
The solution has been in front of us all along.
Ask God if you should step into the gap and become a part of the plan.
The plan is simple.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
We are the plan.
If you're waiting for others to do the work for you, you're going to be waiting a long time.
We are Conservative Daily.
Welcome back to another episode of Conservative Daily Podcast. I am your host, Joe Oltman, and I am joined by John Tiegen.
You promised me candy.
I did. Hey, did you guys see my shirt? See that? See who we are today? I have now become Captain Obvious. This is going to... I need a cape, Mr. Producer. I need a cape for this.
I'll work on that, absolutely.
But, man, I wish...
liberals wear capes, but so it explains a lot.
All right, we're going to be really tight on time, and we have a lot to go over today.
A lot.
Yeah, a lot. And there's a lot that's going on. Sorry, another technical difficulty. Got frozen up there a little bit. We have Ashli, Babbitt's mom on. And I want to just, if we can, I want to bring her in, and I want you guys to understand something that Micki Witthoeft. Did I say that right? Witthoeft has been literally fighting since the day her daughter was killed, murdered in the Capitol. So let's go ahead and bring her in. Micki, welcome to the show. Are you there? Oh, we're frozen.
We knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, we knew it was going to happen because it has been happening literally every time.
Hey, Micki, I'm gonna kill your call. Just refresh it. They do not want you on here. Give me 1 second.
So the pre-show was just fine, working just great.
Yeah, everything in the pre-show was fine. As soon as we bring her on, it starts breaking up. And this is what we faced yesterday.
She was on the call for literally 30 minutes with us, and it was fine.
Yep. Everything was fine?
Yep.
Yeah, and then we just decided we're going to stop.
Go live and...
Yeah. Thanks, Joe Biden. Basement Biden. We have been fighting against this massive amount of...
Corruption?
This suppression, it's crazy what they're doing across the board, and on every level. I mean, everywhere we go, we are facing the same thing over and over and over again.
Yep.
All right, let's go and bring her on. Micki, welcome to the show. I don't think she can still hear us. Mr. Producer, is she on?
Yeah, she is.
This is the most crazy thing ever. This is... We keep breaking up. I don't know if there's a better place you can...
There you go. I think now we got you. Can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Well, they really don't want you speaking.
Yeah.
No, I think, they listen to my phone. I think, I've got a lot going on lately. And, I think they listen to me and monitor me, whoever they is.
Yeah, we can't... we're going to have you call in, unfortunately, because we can't actually... We'll just put your picture up and have you call in and speak, because whatever's happening right now, it's breaking up really, really bad, and I want people to hear your story. I want them to hear what's going on. So I think that Apollo is going to call you right now. Is that what you're doing, Apollo? All right, he's going to call you right now. All right. In the meantime, we've got so much stuff to go over. Micki, can you hear us? You can't hear us. All right.
Yeah.
Sorry, everyone. If you're on the audio version, it's kind of the norm here lately. But we're going to get Micki back on the call as well. And then later on, we'll have Bobby Powell. Yeah. So go ahead and just disconnect if you would, Mr. Producer.
Okay, so we've got her on the phone now.
Okay. Micki, are you there?
I'm here.
All right. Sorry about that, but we couldn't actually see your face because everything was freezing up. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. So why don't you tell everyone just a little bit about yourself and kind of, I think everyone knows about Ashli, but just give us a brief description of Ashli, who she is, who she, what she stood for.
Well, Ashli was committed to the Air Force when she was 17. She did 4 tours of duty in the Middle East. She was combat wounded on her third tour of duty on her 21st birthday, airlifted to Germany for life-saving procedures. Her womb was shredded and she was left unable to have children. And then she came home and her country mowed her down and threw her away like a Kleenex. So I just, I'm so disappointed in this country and so disappointed in the way it's going. And it just breaks my heart that, people went there to peaceably assemble and they were attacked by their government.
So I don't know why even being on the phone is not working very well, Mr. Producer. I don't know what's happening. They really don't want you speaking. So she was injured on her 21st birthday and flown medevaced to Germany.
Right.
And then she go ahead.
Yeah, she had some damage to her womb and was unable to have children, and just really gave her youth, her ability to have a family, and ultimately her life to this country. And they just shit on her. They denied her rendering of honors. And it's not similar from some of the things they're doing to our veterans that are still locked up and being denied due process. I mean, they're still alive, but they are being so politically persecuted that it all falls under the same umbrella.
Well, and we saw one of the January 6ers that just was handed, he was an ex-police officer, was handed the largest sentence to date. I think it was 10 years.
Yeah, that's crazy.
10 years.
And he didn't even go in.
No, and he was just defending people on the outside because they were shooting and kicking, and it's unbelievable what they're doing to January 6 prisoners.
Political prisoners.
It absolutely is. And, yeah, it is. And there's if you watch Dave Sumerall's writing history, there's a red flare that goes up into the air, and it just seems like after that everything was on. And, they launched munitions into a peaceful crowd and did not deal with the agitators on the front line, who I believe were operatives from different agencies, perhaps the FBI, Antifa, and whoever else was mixed in that day. But instead of dealing with the aggressive front line, they launched their munitions into a peaceful crowd, fired rubber bullets at people, smoke canisters that we believe caused 2 heart attacks and killed Kevin Greason and Benjamin Phillips. And also Roseann Boyland beat to death by the Capitol Police. My daughter murdered on TV, and that's the one they could not. They had to talk about that because everybody saw it. But the rest of them have been swept under the rug until American patriots brought that into the consciousness of the American people. But the Capitol Police, they're not going to tell you anything, because until they murder your child, you don't realize they operate with impunity. They have complete control over themselves. They have internal review systems. They don't ever tell you anything went wrong unless they want to. It's kind of like asking the dog who got in the trash. The dog's not going to, it was me. No, and the Capitol Police absolutely committed arrestable offenses that day, not just the murder of my child, but the attack they launched on the American people.
So, as we show you pictures of Ashli, I have to tell you, there's been no accountability, none.
Zero. No, they just touted him as their hero. They didn't even do a proper investigation. They had my daughter mopped up like a piece of trash and moved out of there in a half an hour and went on with business as usual. And Michael Byrd was never properly interviewed by the police. He 10 months later, after we finally got to know his name, he got that softball thrown interview with Lester Holt, but he was never even interviewed by the police. They talked to him. He's like, "Well, I had a bad day. We'll talk about it later," and then never did. And Michael Byrd, he had a prior excessive use of force issues. He left his and also left his loaded weapon in a public restroom. And I feel like the one that shouldn't have been there that day would absolutely be Michael Byrd. He should have been fired years ago.
Okay, so that's not where it ended, though, right? I mean, did they deliver Ashli's body to you?
We had Ashli cremated, and that was, kind of a fallacy that they went ahead and did that for us. Now, that was actually at a request for us after an independent autopsy. It was Ashli's wishes to be cremated in alliance with, her wishes. We kept with that. But, D.C. was so bogged down in red tape at that time that it was hard to do anything. And then once we did get her home, her hometown where she grew up, it was hard to find somebody that would hold services for her. I was denied like 3 times. People told me, "No, we can't have that. It's too controversial. We don't want involved in this." And I actually had to have a friend of mine make arrangements to have her ashes scattered off the coast of California in her name, so that there would be no shenanigans between the 2 times. So, yeah, it's been one smack in the face by the government after another.
So, wait,
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that is crazy.
I mean,
Wow.
Yeah.
How sad.
And my constituent, I call Pelosi, of course. I've called Nancy Pelosi's phone at least probably 24 times and have never heard from her. I contacted Dianne Feinstein's office because Ashli was a California resident. And Dianne Feinstein's people told me, although it was unfortunate, my daughter shouldn't have stormed the Capitol and that Dianne Feinstein would never have 2 minutes for me. And so that's where I am with my constituents, with my representatives. And Daryl Issa reached out to my son-in-law and said, well, I don't know why it's me that's calling you because you're not in my district, but they had a business in his district. So, the government's been less than responsive, less than compassionate, less than accountable. They've just been less than, these people are just disgusting people.
There's no words to describe it. My brother was murdered by a police officer 5 years ago, and they did the same, cover it up and write lying stories about my brother.
Right.
So I know what it looks like, not to the scale of what they did. My brother wasn't at the Capitol, and he probably was doing something he shouldn't have been doing, but a traffic stop should not have resulted in them murdering him.
But yet they give George Floyd a freaking folded flag.
Yeah. Oh, and a gold casket. Yeah, George Floyd got a gold casket too.
Freaking disgusting.
And gold statues, and his family will never, a bunch of money, and it's just such a double standard going on in this country. I would like to take a moment to mention somebody specific, though. His name is Jeffrey McKillop, and he is a 30-year veteran, locked in the D.C. gulag, and he is in need of prayers and love from somebody. So I would just like to ask anybody listening, throw up a prayer for Jeffrey McKillop, and write him a letter, let him know we love him and he's not been forgotten.
Jeffrey McKillop?
McKillop, yeah, as well as all of them. But he has, he served this country honorably, and he's just in such a bad place right now because of the things that have been done to him. He had an abscessed tooth, and I don't know if anybody, if you've ever had one, you know what pain that is. And he begged for help, and then he actually had to lance it with a staple from his own legal paperwork. And the things these men are going through, and the persecution, and just the daily beat down and degradation from these guards in the DC gulag is it's just overwhelming. And they're trying to break people, which is also why they're sitting in there in solitary, because if the video comes out for their discovery, it's going to be the same video that incriminates the Capitol Police. So they want to hold off on that as long as possible and force these men to take bad plea deals.
It almost seems like it's worse than the POW camp.
Well, I mean,
it's terrible.
They don't care. They don't care about Americans. We're just a bunch of slaves. We're a bunch of subjects for them. Yeah. And I think the more and more we see it, the more and more we start to realize that we are nothing to this government entourage. Nothing. I mean, they would act with impunity. Look what the FBI's done. Look what now they want to hire IRS agents. There's nothing that they're doing right now that even resembles anything that is constitutional.
Mm-mm.
No, right, and that's the frustrating part is everybody knows that, but who's going to take action? And just like our representatives, they know that. The video evidence is out there. This is not just me talking about, oh, poor us, we're crazy tinfoil hat people. There is evidence of Capitol Police murdering and beating unarmed American citizens that day. And like I said, not just my daughter, Roseann Boyland, I believe they killed that poor girl twice. She was already bleeding from the mouth and the nose when Leila Morris lifted her stick or whatever the hell she was using over her head and beat Roseann Boyland till her lifeless body bounced on the ground, and then they drug her off by her foot, and just less than dignified. And there are many men sitting in jail right now that tried to help her, and that's why they're there. They have assault on police officer charges, and Jake Lang, Maccabee, John Mellis, all of those and many more. I'm sorry if I'm leaving somebody's name out, but I know that they were trying to save American people that day. They did save Tommy Tatum. They did save Philip Anderson. And in the process, there was some trying to make a hole in the crowd, because not only would, my daughter had a possibly survivable wound, and not only would they not render her aid, they didn't let citizens render her aid. She could possibly be alive today. And the same could be said possibly for Roseann Boyland. So these men that were trying to make a hole in the crowd and resuscitate her and try to save her life are now being charged, and some of them facing up to, would amount to a life sentence in jail.
Someone needs to speak out for these January 6th political prisoners, kids, and I'm honored to take on that role. but I need your help to seek justice for these brave men and women. So please go to givesendgo.com/Bobby Powell and donate to the fight today. We'll be back with more with Ashli Babbitt's mom, Micki, in 2 minutes. Stand by.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. I started by using the world's best cotton called Giza. It's only grown in a region between the Sahara Desert, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River. It's ultra soft and breathable, but extremely durable. I guarantee you they'll be the most comfortable sheets you'll ever own.
I do not like my sheets. I love my Giza Dream sheets.
I'm interrupting this commercial to bring you my BOGO extravaganza. For example, you can buy one of my Giza Dream bed sheets and get a second set absolutely free. Or my 6-piece towel sets. Buy one set, get another one absolutely free. Or you can get my classic premium My Pillow and get another one absolutely free. So call the number on your screen or go to mypillow.com. Use your promo code to get my buy one, get one free offers and get deep discounts on all My Pillow products.
And I don't want no one to cry, but tell them if I don't survive, I was born free. I was born free. I was born free. Born free.
Now, I'm standing here today telling you God's truth. Speaking in the name of and with the authority of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, because I am telling you the truth. It was the FBI and not Trump supporters who led the insurrection at the Capitol on January 6th.
Like an untamed stallion, if you can't see my heart, you must be blind. You can knock me down and watch me bleed, but you can't keep no chains on me. I was born free. I was born free.
A life sentence in jail is standing up for and against the tyranny of our country. And last night, Joe Biden, the piece of trash that is occupying the White House, and listen, if you don't like the fact that I call him a piece of trash, for those that are listening, he is nothing but garbage. This is a guy that literally insulted more than 75% of our country and used the bullhorn of the weaponized media and the weaponized technology to do it.
The arm of China.
Yeah, and what did he say? He said that we're domestic terrorists, we're fascists. I mean, Micki, what do you have to say about that?
Well, I have to say that it starts from the top down, and we've had, some of our guys don't have great representation, but some of them do have, really good lawyers. But then you get in there up against these corrupt judges, and the judges that already say things like every American there was the antithesis of a patriot. The only patriots that day were the Capitol Police, and Judge Contreras going, you absolutely can get a fair jury pool in D.C. Look at the Refit trial. Look at this trial. Look at that trial. And every precedent he cited was a J6 defendant that was found guilty on every single charge. So, you absolutely cannot get a fair jury trial in D.C. And if you can, you cannot get a fair judge. And we'll see when the Kyle Fitzsimons verdict comes back. That's where these judges' hearts are, because I sat in on that trial and I watched Natasha Taylor Smith, who is a public defender, actually from, she's a left-leaning public defender, but she defended Kyle Fitzsimons like he was her little brother, and she put on an amazing defense, and she broke down those videos and actually proved that Kyle Fitzsimons was not guilty of 2 of the charges he was charged with. And Officer Gannell up there had to stick with his story, and Natasha Taylor Smith reduced him to frustration and rubble. And at one point he said, well, you weren't there, you don't understand, I'm a hero. And she said, yeah, but is Kyle Fitzsimons' hand on your shield? No, it's not. She was an amazing attorney that, and I've not seen that many trials in person, but I have seen some lawyers that are paid good money actually just kind of roll over and take it. And the thing is, even if you can get a good defense, you have these judges that have a predisposition to be there. So we absolutely need to try to move these trials out of Washington D.C. If not for a fair jury trial, for a judge that's in honest judgment of these people, because like I said, they go in there already thinking things. And also, Judge Friedrich, Dabney Friedrich, she was talking when she sentenced Kyle Refit. She was saying things that I thought that she should know more. I mean, it's like she was wrong on a lot of her information, and I was just thinking that maybe you should look into these things before you hold this man's life in your hands. And also, well, I'm going to see what my colleagues decided on this, and I'm going to see what my colleagues decided on that. And I just wanted to stand up and say, no, you're the friggin' judge for the day. Why don't you pull your balls out of your pocket and make a decision and do it by what you think is right? But no, they're all, in cahoots with, oh, well, what did this one do? What did that one do? They all found us guilty. That's what they did, and that's what you're going to do. And we all know that. So that's why we really need to press forward for trials outside of D.C.
Well, and doesn't it make sense that you would have a trial outside of D.C.? It's a jury of your peers, not a jury of a mob of people that are indoctrinated. And it's like a toilet. It's like a toilet of just crappy people in Washington, D.C.
That's amazingly true. That being said, though, the Metropolitan Police, I do back the blue. I have a lot of respect for the men and women of this country that get up and put on a uniform and protect us. And that being said, the Metropolitan Police are full of bad police, but they also have some good ones, which I have come across in my month I've spent in D.C. There are good and bad in every place, and I would just like to say, thank you to the good men and women of the Metropolitan Police that have kept us safe over our month in D.C. on the corner sitting in solidarity with prisoners.
Okay, so let's talk about that. And I mean, I want to just point it out. So there are good police that can keep you safe, but not speak up.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
Why aren't they speaking up? Same with the FBI. I mean, there's more FBI agents coming out speaking up, but that's how you keep this country safe and straight. It's crazy.
Exactly. I don't know why anybody's not speaking up because, like I said, there's video evidence of the things that happened out there. Dave Sumerall's writing history, Capitol Hill, Capital Punishment, Capitol Hill, Day of Outrage, the truth about January 6th from Epoch Times. There's absolutely video footage of these crimes being committed, and if they're going to hold our men that were there, our men and women, so accountable that day, I believe we need an investigation into the Capitol Police because I know with my own eyes I've seen some arrestable behavior by those men.
So we know that. So I want to draw a parallel here. It's one of the reasons why I wanted to have Tig on. But Tig, what did they do to you after you got out of Benghazi?
Well, after we kind of went and testified, and they kind of threw us off to the side for the most part. But they didn't really force us to keep quiet, but they just kind of shuffled us around. I mean, they hit Oz. They put, but they didn't really want us to talk. They didn't really want us to come out. Obviously, they didn't want us talking to the press, but eventually, we got tired of seeing what was going on, the lies that were being told, and just the lies. It was just. It got to us, and we said, "Screw you! We're coming out. We're telling the truth." Because again, it's the direction the country was taken, and the politicians that were going to be pushed forward through the lies. So for us, it was enough. Job be damned. We were going to come out and tell the truth. So we ended up losing our job over it. But oh well. So that's pretty much happened to us.
Well, the mainstream media, too. If you talk to the mainstream media, who are you really talking to? You're talking to people that have been so lied to and so manipulated, and they suppress what they don't want out there. I'm surprised. When I was in the courtroom, I talked to a reporter who did not know who Victoria White was, did not know who Roseann Boyland was. These are names the American people should know. These are American citizens, and I feel the same way about every soldier that's died in the Middle East or anywhere in defense of this country. But I definitely feel like if you think you know something about January 6th, these are names you should know. And also, how are they going to have a January 6th committee hearing without mentioning Ashli, Babbitt, Roseann Boyland? Michael Bird's a friggin' hero. Put him up on the stand and ask him some real questions. Let's see if he can hold up to some real questions, because I'm betting he can't.
Well, they can't handle the truth.
So we have a Mr. Producer A4. You were turned away. So you were turned away at a D.C. courthouse because you had a pocket-sized photo of your deceased daughter, of Ashli Babbitt, on your shirt. Did that happen?
I think that's the picture. Yeah, that's the shirt I was wearing before my video got cut off. But there's a bigger picture on the back. But the only thing the bailiff saw when I was coming at him was my pocket-sized picture on my shirt, and I was told that you can't have. We don't allow banners, flags, or T-shirts with slogans that represent one side or the other, which was kind of confusing because it wasn't a jury trial. It was a bench trial. So I don't think my little teeny pocket-sized shirt that the judge could see is going to sway his opinion, then he shouldn't be a judge. But I didn't feel like that was the day for that fight because I really wanted to get inside and see Natasha kick ass because I wanted to see her grill Ganell like a hamburger. And she did. She did. She had that man all flustered, but you know, he's so used to people going, "Oh, you're such a hero." He really didn't know how to answer some real questions. It really reduced him to a mess. It was wonderful to watch.
So we have a video of two demons showing up at one of the events. Do we not want to play it?
There's no reason to play
Well,
it.
no, I don't. I really don't want to give them the airtime.
Okay.
They were just two probably overprivileged little girls that wanted to say, you know, the same shit everybody says, you know, insurrectionist losers. But they did start a chant with a "F your Jesus, F your Jesus." So I don't know who gets behind that, but you know, apparently they have some support out there somewhere. But I think that they're just paid agitators because they come and they scream foul things over the bullhorn for an hour and then they go home. So, you know, and you know, like I said, the Metropolitan Police that have been there for that have been lovely. They keep these girls, you know, they move them over and they can't tell them to be quiet and go home because the First Amendment swings both ways. So I would like to tell these little selfish girls, these misinformed little brats, that they can thank the men behind those bars, and they can thank my daughter, and they can thank every man that put on a uniform and went to service this country for their right to stand across the street and be idiots. So, you know, they're welcome.
Okay, so the good news is that I'm going to take some snapshots of them, and I personally am going to run it through a program, and I'm going to find out exactly who they are. Then I'm going to let everybody know who they are. So I think it's really we're going to write an article about it.
Kind of like how we used to do it.
Yeah, I'm going to write an article about these people. Not because I don't want to give them airtime, because I want people to know who they are.
I can tell you who they work for. While you're looking them up, I can tell you who they work for, but I don't want to say his name on your show because I don't want to lend any credibility to him. But I could absolutely tell you where to start looking for their boss, the one that pays them to go out there and you know, do their hour on the corner for their crack rock or whatever they get out of the deal. But they're definitely being paid, and I know who they're being paid by. So I'll give you that information. You know,
right.
I'll send it to you after we get off the phone.
His last name wouldn't be Biden, would it?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to give him credibility either.
Pyramid, perhaps. Or what do they call him? No, Big Daddy or whatever they call. What do they call him? Does this kid call him Peter the Pedo? I don't know, something like that.
Yeah. So there's another there's another lefty. I think and this was just a couple days ago, but Ms. Producer put this up. A9. Crazy leftist descend on Ashli Babbitt's mother's rally outside D.C. Gitmo and screams, "Ashli deserved to die. F your Jesus."
Yeah, that's it.
I don't really want to play this video, but what I do want to show, what I want to tell people is, well, I actually do want to play it. No, we're not playing it either. Yeah,
I mean, I need a few seconds anyway.
Okay. I want you to see what the left's about. The fact that it's not giving their airtime. It's so that you can actually see that this is what this is who Joe Biden is.
Yep.
This is what Joe Biden is.
Right, and if you give them airtime, it'll just show more people what idiots we're dealing with, what foul-mouthed little idiots we're dealing with.
Yeah, so I think that's important that we actually play this. Do we have it, Mr. Producer? It's like a minute long.
Maybe get to a point where you actually black out their faces.
No, I don't want. I want them to. I want these people. I want everyone to know who they are. These are just disgusting, despicable, subhuman, evil demons. That's what they are.
Yeah, I hope their mama sees it because I don't think they're out there making their mama proud. That's for sure.
Well, let's go ahead and put this up if you would, Mr.
They're making Hitler proud.
A13.
Right.
And it's why we proudly proclaim that we are one nation under God. The story of America is the story of an adventure that began with deep faith, big dreams, and humble beginnings.
There's Humpty Dumpty.
Carry yourself with dignity and pride.
Have you ever seen anything more disgusting in your life? Folks, we are fighting real evil, okay? Some kind of evil spirit has indwelt these poor individuals, that they can be so mean, so cruel, to walk up to a woman whose daughter has been murdered and say that she was a domestic terrorist and she deserved it. How awful is that? That's what we're fighting. So we're going to put on the full armor of God. We're going to get online. We're going to get in our fighting positions, and we're going to fire back with the only weapon that we have at our disposal, which is the truth. So like, comment, and share this video. Go to bobbypowell.substack.com. Share all of my stuff. Don't just share it once. It's not a one and done thing. Okay, I'm banging away at this 16, 18 hours a day. Least you guys can do is give me 15. Give the Republic. Okay, give our nation, give your children 10 or 15 minutes a day. Pick one of my stories over at bobbypowell.substack.com and share it. One a day. You can do that. I know that you can. And if you have the ability, please go to givesendgo.com/BobbyPowell and throw me a couple of bucks. This is expensive, and I would like to get to Washington, D.C. on September 24th so that I can speak out for these January 6th prisoners, and the only way that's going to happen is if you help me. So go to givesendgo.com/BobbyPowell and throw me a couple of bucks, and I will walk point for you and for them. I do not mind one little bit. Now, we'll be back with my segment on Conservative Daily with Joe Altman and Tiegen right after this. Stand by.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell. Retailers, shopping channels, and now even banks have tried canceling myself and MyPillow. Well, during these times, your support has meant everything to us. My employees and I want to personally thank each and every one of you by passing the savings directly on to you. For a limited time, you can get my brand new product, My Slippers, for 50% off. That's the lowest price ever. And remember, My Slippers come with an exclusive 4-layer design. These layers combine to give you amazing comfort and support and help reduce stress on your feet. And with the durable indoor-outdoor sole, you can wear My Slippers anytime, anywhere. I personally guarantee these will be the most comfortable slippers you'll ever own. So go to MyPillow.com now and use the promo code on your screen or call the 1-800 number below to get My Slippers for 50% off, the lowest price in history. And if you do it right now, I'm going to include a free gift with your purchase. Thank you and God bless.
Now, I'm standing here today telling you God's truth, speaking in the name of and with the authority of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, because I am telling you the truth. It was the FBI and not Trump supporters who led the insurrection at the Capitol on January 6th.
Take you on, headstrong to take on anyone. I know that you are wrong. Headstrong, we're headstrong. Back off, I'll take you on. Headstrong to take on anyone. I know that you are wrong, and this is not where you belong.
Well, we didn't get the one. We didn't get the other one, but I mean, I don't. You're out there, Micki. You're out there trying to protest what they're doing to people inside this gulag, and they came out to just heckle you.
Yeah, I don't even, these little girls, I don't even think they believe what they're saying. I think that, like I said, I think this guy that I'll give you his name when we get off the phone, he pays them to come out there and agitate, and then he sits home all day in his grandma's basement and says ugly things about not just me, but every single person out there. So, yeah, I definitely believe they're paid agitators because they clock in and they clock out. Because I have some people that don't worry, they'll be gone in an hour, and they were because they were only paid through the hour. So I don't even think these little girls believe what they're saying. They're just told to go out there and say inflammatory shit, rile people up, be as ugly as they can and try to get a reaction. So I think that's their purpose in being there. I don't even think they believe what they're spouting. How can you believe F your Jesus? I mean, who says that? Who does that?
Well, no one that has any sort of conscience or has any sort of morals or ethics.
Which is even worse, I think. I mean, actually getting paid to go do it. It's
yeah. So Micki, we're going to give you the final word, and then we brought in Bobby Powell as well. I don't know if you can see this, but Bobby, welcome to the show. Well, we can't hear Bobby.
Might help if I turn my microphone on.
There you go.
How you guys doing?
Good. Good. Now, Micki, do you know Bobby?
I don't know Bobby personally. I would like to have a conversation with Bobby, but I am absolutely aware of his videos and his attitude and his stance on things. Absolutely, I'm aware of Bobby Powell.
Well, Micki, last night I was talking to Randy Ireland, and he's got my phone number, so get in touch with him, and we'll get together.
And we'll pass it off to you as well,
Okay,
Bobby.
yeah, Randy's been an amazing support out there at the D.C. jail, so yeah, I will. I'm going to be back in D.C. tomorrow night, so I will talk to him about that. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
So, Micki, we'll give you the final word. We're going to run through a bunch of videos that kind of prove that more proof that the January 6th insurrection was the other way around. It was agitated Antifa. It was a kabuki theater, if you ask me.
Absolutely choreographed by our government to attack our American people. I believe that. Okay, I'm going to be quiet and listen. I can't see y'all, but I'm listening.
Okay. So Bobby, welcome to the show. I'd like you to tell. By the way, I'm joined by John Tiegen. Do you know who John is?
You bet I do. Man's a hero.
But you know, he's also a Democrat. So I just want you to know he's,
I'm trying to be a liberal like Joe, but I can't go that far.
If we were to actually talk about politics, I would be a classic liberal.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's not like that anymore. The left has gone so far to the left, it's just turned into a doggone dictatorship.
Yeah.
So, I like to say that I'm not really a political person, though, because Democrats are corrupt, Republicans are corrupt. I like to say I'm a monarchist because I'm serving a coming king. I don't trust any of these three Republicans or Democrats, any politician of any stripe. They've all disappointed me. Mm-hmm. And they've disappointed the country, too, which is worse.
So I want to go through this because you actually have a information related to two federal agents attacking the Capitol on January 6th. Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay. Well, on January 6th, I was at the east entrance to the Capitol. Had followed a crowd up the steps right after the Capitol Hill police let them through. And as soon as I got up to the top of the steps, I heard some commotion off to my right, and there was a young kid by the name of Hunter Emke who was smashing one of the Senate office windows and kicking it and breaking glass and just trying to get in. Well, he was righteously tackled by Capitol Hill police, and he was arrested. They took his ID, and then they kicked him loose, said, you can expect a knock on your door in a week or so. So he goes home to California, right, old Hunter Emke. He's allowed to turn himself in, and he's charged with a variety of things. But the thing is, he was released on bail. He was allowed to go home with an ankle monitor and play Call of Duty and eat Hot Pockets for a year, while everybody else that was arrested on January 6th has been languishing in the gulag. Okay, so after Hunter Emke broke that window, Capitol Hill police were standing there guarding it, which they properly should have been. But about 15 minutes after they kicked Emke loose, they received a transmission over their radios telling them to displace from that window, leaving it completely undefended. And you've seen this video. Everybody has seen this video. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people have seen the video. So Capitol Hill police just walk away and leave this broken window completely undefended with a mob yelling, we're going to go in there. Okay, so they were ordered to leave that window. And 30 seconds after they leave the frame of my camera after they disappear off into the crowd. I'm hearing loud crunching noise next to me, and I'm kind of picking up glass because I want some souvenirs, right? I didn't know exactly how big this was going to be, but this was only my third trip to Washington, D.C. in my entire life, and I wanted to take something home with me. So I'm picking up glass. This guy that's dressed all in black, head to toe, starts telling, why don't you guys pull out the rest of it and go inside? I told him because that would probably be illegal. And so he continues pulling the glass out, and I turn my camera around when it gets really loud. I just can't ignore it anymore. I turn my camera around just in the nick of time to catch this guy pulling the glass completely from its frame and stepping aside to let rioters go inside. Well, up to that point, I had been a journalist. But before I was a journalist, I was a United States Marine. I still am. I took an oath as a 16-year-old Marine recruit to defend this nation from all enemies, foreign and domestic. Okay, and that oath has no expiration date. So when I saw people starting to rush in towards that window, I got in their way, and I wasn't going to allow anybody to go into the United States Capitol through a broken window during a riot on my watch. It just wasn't going to happen. Okay. So, but now that I've interfered, the guy that had pulled the glass from its pane, or pulled the window pane from its frame, he does a complete 180. Instead of trying to enable and facilitate the entry of rioters into the Capitol, now he sees my camera. I'm wearing a helmet that's got press and media markings on it, and so he turns around and does a complete 180 and starts pushing people away from the window. And I saw this one kid by the name of Gavin Kroll, and he squares off with him pretty good. But the second that he's done with his little act, he disappears into the crowd. He's never to be seen again. Okay.
Now, do we have this video, right? Do we have this video? So is that the B2 video, or which video is this? Because I'd like people to see it.
That would be Mob 15, I believe.
So I've got the first one where Hunter Emke pulls or he breaks the glass. That is B2 for us. And then the next video is where the agent pulls the glass from the window and then starts to push people when he realizes he's being filmed.
Okay, so let's first start with the B. Let's take a look at B2 if we can first. Bobby, I want people to see this specifically. Go play B2. Probably won't go through the whole thing, but let's start with B2.
Well, there's some violent protesters there, I tell you what. With all those guns.
Yeah, nobody's violent. But this is where Bobby, they leave, right?
No, not quite yet. This is where they arrest Emke. And then they're going to kick him loose in just a second.
For those of you that are watching on the audio version, Emke actually broke the window, got tackled by police officers holding riot shields. And now people are chanting USA. They get some information on him. Police officers are surrounding each other. People are yelling, "You're not a patriot," at this guy for breaking the window.
Actually, they're saying, "You're not taking him." And then they say, we're going in that window and you can't stop us.
Who was yelling that, Bobby? You're not taking him.
I don't know. Just somebody off to my side. I can't identify the person. You hear that? It's only a matter of time when we're all going through there.
That's the guy, right? Isn't that the federal agent?
Don't forget to go to GiveSendGo.com/Bobby Powell and throw me a couple of bucks, kids. This is kind of expensive, putting this together and going around the country, putting thumb drives in everybody's hands, and speaking at these rallies. I need your help to do these things. So go to GiveSendGo.com/Bobby Powell and throw me whatever won't put you out. I do appreciate it. And we'll be back in 2 minutes with Joe Oltmann and Tiegen on Conservative Daily Podcast as I walk them through the video that I recorded on January 6th that shows 2 federal agents attacking the Capitol.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and I'm here to tell you about my new product from MyPillow, towels that actually work. Watch this absorbency test. Here's another towel that we randomly went out and bought. Here's one of my towels with the nice design. I don't know if you can see this, but you could line a swimming pool with this. This is crazy. Get rid of it. Towels that actually work.
The new MyPillow towels are exclusively made with 100% USA combed cotton with proprietary technology and with maximum absorbency. They dry you faster and are guaranteed to work.
I'm interrupting this commercial to bring you my BOGO extravaganza. For example, you get one of my Giza Dream bed sheets and you get a second set absolutely free. Or my 6-piece towel sets. Buy one set, get another one absolutely free. Or get my classic premium MyPillow and get another one absolutely free. So call the number on your screen or go to MyPillow.com and use your promo code to get my buy one, get one free offers and get deep discounts on all MyPillow products.
And I don't want no one to cry, but tell them if I don't survive, I was born free. I was born free. I was born free. Born free.
Now, I'm standing here today telling you God's truth, speaking in the name of and with the authority of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, because I am telling you the truth. It was the FBI and not Trump supporters who led the insurrection at the Capitol on January 6th.
Like an untamed stallion, if you can't see my heart, you must be blind. You can knock me down and watch me bleed, but you can't keep no chains on me. I was born free. I was born free.
All right, let's go to B14 to look at the retreat first.
Yeah.
This 14?
Yeah.
It's all the
And
police
they
officers.
had just received an order to displace and leave that window completely undefended. Okay, Mr. Producer.
Yes, sir.
If you would please go fast forward to where I'm picking up the glass.
There we go.
Okay, right there. Good deal. Now listen to the man on my right telling me, why don't you guys open up the rest of it and go inside?
Turn it up.
I know my glasses. I got my.
I'm just picking up drugs.
And do you hear how loud that crunching is? That's what caused me to turn my camera around and Kristen and Micki trying to catch this guy from the window completely from the spring. Tell me that's not a doggone fed.
Do not go in there.
Okay, so now he changes his tune. Instead of pulling out the window and facilitating the rioters' entrance, he's acting like he's keeping people out. And now he just fades away, never to be seen again. Because he knew he had been caught. His cover had been blown. He's done.
So did we were ever able to identify that guy?
Go ahead. You can go ahead and kill that, Mr. Producer. Thank you. I gave the FBI 29 minutes of high-definition footage on January 15th, 2021. As of today, neither man has been arrested. The FBI has not uploaded a single frame of this man or another man that I recorded holding open the Columbus doors with a pole and pushing people, including me, inside. They haven't put up a single picture on their Facebook page, YouTube channel, or .gov site. Okay, they do not want to know about these guys. Well, I'm sure they obviously know about them, but they don't want you to know about them.
Well, I have enough information. I think I could run some
Just like
facial recognition of them. I could run it against known federal employees. I can send it to some people to have them run through that, and then.
All right.
So we're
Let's
gonna
get that done.
we're gonna do that because
It's kind of like something like Epps, like the,
Ray Epps.
Yeah.
How about Ray Epps, Bobby?
Well, yeah, it's way worse than Ray Epps, because Ray Epps is just running his mouth, right? He didn't. He was a shot caller, is what he was. And these guys, the ones that were actually doing violence and attacking the Capitol, I think they're a little bit more culpable. And we need to find out who ordered those Capitol Hill police officers to walk away so that they can do this damage, okay? We need to find out who ordered these men to do what they were doing that day. And these are questions that Christopher Wray cannot answer if politicians were to haul him in front of Congress and start asking him questions. But there we get into another little interesting part of this story, because I have given this video to all 535 members of Congress. 17 of them, all of them, 17 of them have responded and acknowledged receipt of the video. Okay? Now, this has been going on for 19 months, almost 20 months now. And
you sent it to Dan Bongino, too.
Oh, I sure did.
Yeah.
And his response was to go on national television and tell everybody, well, I don't live in Palm City. Well, according to the state of Florida, Dan Bongino's Bongino Inc. is registered at an address in Palm City, and it was updated just 4 months ago. So Dan Bongino is a liar. He said that he hasn't lived in or worked in Palm City for years. Well, as of 4 months ago, when he updated his corporate paperwork, he did live in Palm City. Okay, but now make note of the fact that although he took great pains, took about 6 minutes calling me a liar on national television, saying that he had never seen this video, now he has, and he still hasn't shown it. Okay, so I don't know.
Why would that be? Why would Dan Bongino hide that information and not play it?
I think maybe he's just afraid of losing his Fox News paycheck. I gave it to Sean Hannity on January 12th, 2021. I had already known Sean Hannity. I wouldn't known him for years. But we got reacquainted when Matt DePerno, who was the attorney for the radio station where I worked in Michigan, discovered the cheating in Antrim County. So his producers called us, and we provided our attorney to Sean Hannity's show. So I had Sean Hannity's producer's personal cell phone number. Her name is Stephanie Wolishin. And as soon as I got back from D.C. and finished licking my wounds, I gave it to Sean Hannity. And his producers lied to me for months about taking it to their team and running it up the flagpole to see who salutes, okay? So let's see. Tucker Carlson signed for a thumb drive last December, as did Lou Dobbs, Jesse Waters too. So these guys are just afraid of losing their Fox News paychecks. That's the only thing that I can think of, because this is stunning, damning footage. Okay, now as I said, I've given it to all these congressmen too. 17 have acknowledged receipt. Let me give you a real quick list here. I gave it to Senator Josh Hawley. I gave it to him twice. Actually, he's had it the longest. He's had it since February of 2021, as has Senator Kirsten Sinema. I've given it to Dr. Paul Gosar, Lauren Boebert, Matt Gaetz. I personally put a thumb drive in Matt Gaetz' hand at a Trump rally in Sarasota, Florida on July 3rd of last year. Given it to Thomas Massey, Jim Jordan, Vern Buchanan, Greg Stubbe, Marjorie Taylor Greene signed for a thumb drive. So did Louis Gohmert, Billy Long, Doug Collins, Jason Chaffetz, and Madison Cawthorn. Interesting story And there's a graphic that you might want to get ready to show on your screen that's going to blow everybody's mind. Congressman Pete Sessions from Texas also has had this video.
That's right, kids. Representative Pete Sessions of Texas has had this video for over a year. I gave it to his chief of staff, W. Kirk Bell, after the Patriot Network Summit in North Carolina last June. And you are going to see Kirk Bell's amazing response when I asked him why nobody has ever said anything about this, why Pete Sessions, why Jim Jordan, why Thomas Massey have never said anything about this video. His amazing response, his unbelievable response is next. Stand by.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and due to your incredible support, the original My Slippers are almost completely sold out. As a special thank you, I am launching my brand new all-season slippers, slides, and sandals for as low as $29.98. This is a limited time offer, so go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code and you'll get all my new footwear for as low as $29.98. My all-season slippers are made with my exclusive 4-layer design that you won't find in any other slipper. They're finished with a breathable fabric so you can wear them all year round. And my new slides and sandals are made with patented impact gel, making them ultra comfortable and extremely durable. I guarantee they'll be the most comfortable footwear you'll ever own. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen now to get your very own all-season slippers, slides, and sandals for as low as $29.98 with your promo code. This is an introductory offer and it won't last long, so order now.
And I don't want no one to cry, but tell them if I don't survive, I was born free. I was born free. I was born free. Born free.
Now, I'm standing here today telling you God's truth, speaking in the name of and with the authority of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, because I am telling you the truth. It was the FBI and not Trump supporters who led the insurrection at the Capitol on January 6th.
Like an untamed stallion, if you can't see my heart, you must be blind. You can knock me down and watch me bleed, but you can't keep no chains on me. I was born free. I was born free.
It takes a lot of money to put out The Truth is Viral and fight for the freedom of our children and grandchildren, kids. So if you have it within your ability, please go to givesendgo.com/Bobby Powell and throw me whatever you can so that I can continue to fight this fight. And now you're going to see W. Kirk Bell's response. W. Kirk Bell is the chief of staff for Representative Pete Sessions down in Texas, and you're going to see his response when I asked him why these Republican senators and congressmen have been silent for over a year, and in some cases for up to 18 months. Here it is. It's going to make you sick.
Congressman Pete Sessions from Texas also has had this video for over a year. I gave it to his chief of staff, Kirk Bell, at the Patriot Network Summit in North Carolina last year. And a couple of months ago, I got in touch with Kirk Bell, and I asked him, just out of curiosity, did anything come out of the video that I recorded of 2 federal agents attacking the Capitol? Did Sessions ever see it? Jordan? Anyone? And Kirk Bell, the chief of staff for Congressman Pete Sessions, tells me, yes, we are keeping our powder dry until after November. No use in putting anything out there currently. Now, I don't know about you kids, but that's hashtag bullshit. Okay? People have been arrested and are facing life in prison for trespassing and demonstrating. Okay? They're being physically abused in jail by their jailers. They're being psychologically tortured to the point of suicide. And these politicians literally want to play politics with people's lives and save the most damning information until after the midterms when they can do the most political damage. Like I said, hashtag bullshit. They're playing games with people's lives, and I'm not going to stand for it.
That's one thing I hate about politicians. That's what they do. If it doesn't benefit them right then and there, they won't do anything. It's bullcrap.
Yeah, well, I've about had enough of it. So I'm going to drag these people through the mud. And if they don't think that I can do it, if old Dan Bongino doesn't know my name, everybody's going to know my name. I've got the scalps on my belt of a assistant state attorney in Florida. He's lost his license to practice law. He's never going to prosecute an innocent person again. I helped take out assistant U.S. attorney from the District of Nevada, Stephen Myrie, after he lied about the Bundy case and withheld exculpatory evidence from the prosecution and the court. And my own congressman, Dan Benishek, felt my wrath. Okay, I had some questions for him that he could not answer. So I promised him I was going to be at every campaign stop that he was making until he answered those questions. And old Dan Benishek is up and quit. Okay, I am not the person. I don't take no comment for an answer. Okay, that's I guess that's the Marine Corps part of me. Okay, you don't lie to me. You don't lie about me. You don't betray this country, and it's just not going to happen. Okay, I'm a hard place on that. Definitely hard case.
Yeah, the no comment. That's just a coward way, and they don't know they know the truth and they just can't tell it, or they're just clueless. That's all the no comment is.
They just don't want to, and that's too bad.
Yep.
Because they're going to talk about it one way or another. Okay, I've given everything to this fight. After I was demonetized everywhere post January 6th and published my footage, I sold my house. Couldn't afford it anymore, so I sold my house, bought a fifth wheel on a truck, and I've been going around the country physically putting thumb drives into the hands of these politicians, speaking at January 6th rallies for these political prisoners. I've spoken at one in New York, one in North Carolina, and the last one that I spoke at was for Green Beret Jeremy Brown in front of the Clearwater County Courthouse. Now, I'm going to back up 6 weeks, okay? After I appeared on the Greg Kelly show on Newsmax, my friend, and we'll put that word friend in big air quotes, okay? My friend, Congressman Terry Bentivolio from Michigan, invited me to a rib shack in Bay City for lunch. And he asked me, hey, Bobby, what's it going to take to get you to stop talking about your video? I said, well, why would I do that? He said, because Ron Weiser wants you to. He said, you know who Ron Weiser is, right? I said, yeah, Ron Weiser is the chairman of the Michigan Republican Party. Why in the world would he want me to stop talking about this video? It proves that Donald Trump wasn't responsible for the insurrection. And he didn't answer my question. He just came back with, how about $100,000? And I kind of laughed at him. I said, are you kidding me? And he said, how about $200,000? And so now I'm getting the point that, oh yeah, now I'm getting the point that Terry Bentivolio, congressman from the state of Michigan, is serious. So I tell him, look, Terry, you go back and you tell Ron Weiser he doesn't have enough money to buy my honor or my silence. You tell Ron Weiser if he wants me to stop talking about this video, he's going to have to kill me. Okay? Now, 6 weeks later, I'm giving a speech for January 6th political prisoner Jeremy Brown in front of the Pinellas County Courthouse when Pinellas County deputies arrest a man with a pipe bomb that's sent there to kill me.
Wait,
so
hold on a second. Somebody sent a pipe bomb to kill you.
No, the man had it in a backpack. He was antsy for terrorists. He had just, Sheriff Bob Galtieri said that he had just come back from Portland where he had undergone terrorist training with Antifa. Now,
and this was
1 week. One week after he was arrested by Pinellas County deputies, the FBI swoops in, and all of a sudden, Garrett James Smith was not an Antifa terrorist. He was just a kid with a smoke bomb. Apparently, the Pinellas County bomb squad can't tell the difference between a nail-studded pipe bomb and a smoke bomb. Okay, but now here's where it's really funny. So the FBI kicks this kid loose. He's out there today. Okay, a few weeks ago, I was sent some footage of this same kid in Washington, D.C. on January 6th. He was on a Hippie for Trump bus, right? There were a couple people on that bus. They were stopped by police. They were arrested for drugs and guns. And this kid was kicked loose by the FBI once again. And he's filmed later with Ray Epps, no less, attacking police officers and barricades around the Capitol. So, the FBI is using Antifa as their soldiers. They're using they're what they call kites. Okay, this is a term used by the government to describe an asset. You just cut the string, right, and the kite floats away, and there's no more connection to the kite flyer, which in this case would be the United States government. So they're just disposable assets, and the government uses them to do their dirty work. But this I know it's the craziest story you've ever heard. My 36 years as a journalist, I've never seen anything like it. Not only has the FBI refused to accept my offer to come in and give them all of my video from the 5th, 6th, and 7th, and an interview 5 times. They won't respond to my FOIA request. That's required by law either. They've got 20 days to respond to a FOIA request, okay? And they don't have to supply the materials that you are seeking, but they are required by federal law to respond to it. I haven't heard a peep from anybody inside the federal government since January 15th, 2021.
Remember to like, comment, and share. And if you have the ability, go to givesendgo.com/Bobby Powell and throw me a couple of bucks. This fight is expensive, kids. Remember to go to my Substack too. You can get a subscription there for free. I never charge anything for any of this information. But if you appreciate the effort, you can buy a paid subscription. And know that you're helping out in the fight. Got a little special something here too. Went ahead and ordered a bunch of these. Insight Magazine by Epoch Times. Guess who's in the centerfold? Anybody that donates $500 is going to get one of these signed by Bobby Powell. God, that just sounds so egocentric. Giving away, selling autographs. I'll do whatever I have to in order to finance this fight. I don't care. I ain't got no pride left. I'll be back in 2 minutes with the end of this next segment on Conservative Podcast Daily, or Conservative Daily Podcast with Joe Altman and Tiegen, the hero of Benghazi. Stand by.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. I started by using the world's best cotton called Giza. It's only grown in a region between the Sahara Desert, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River. It's ultra soft and breathable, but extremely durable. I guarantee you they'll be the most comfortable sheets you'll ever own.
I do not like my sheets. I love my Giza Dream sheets.
I'm interrupting this commercial to bring you my BOGO extravaganza. For example, you can buy one of my Giza Dream bed sheets and get a second set absolutely free. Or my 6-piece towel sets. Buy one set, get another one absolutely free. Or you can get my classic premium My Pillow and get another one absolutely free. So call the number on your screen or go to mypillow.com. Use your promo code to get my buy one, get one free offers and get deep discounts on all my pillow products.
Circling your head, contemplating everything you ever said. Now I see the truth, I got it down.
Now, I'm standing here today telling you God's truth, speaking in the name of and with the authority of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, because I am telling you the truth. It was the FBI and not Trump supporters who led the insurrection at the Capitol on January 6th.
Take you on, headstrong to take on anyone. I know that you are wrong. Headstrong, we're headstrong. Back off, I'll take you on. Headstrong to take on anyone. I
So
That's surprising.
Yeah, no. I want more interest. I want more interest. I'm more interested in understanding why these videos aren't being used in every prosecution out there. Why the New York police officer that was charged with defending himself against a mob of police officers that were hurting people in the crowd. Why wasn't it used there? Right? The guy got 120 months in jail,
which is ridiculous.
And he's a police officer. And then they lied. Hey, we have a comment from Dr. Hine. Reps don't want anything to do anything with it, since maybe was McConnell directing it with other Republicans with hands in the cookie jar in elections too. Hate Trump enough to take him out, Mitch. And I think that's true. I think that this is not just a, Bobby, you've talked about this as well as not, hey, look, that you're a blue blood, right? So you're one of the blue blood liberals that I would call you a. But there's another comment here that the first breach happened on the Senate side, and video has Russian-speaking individuals there. I remember seeing that video, yep. So we'll pull that. So Ukrainian president too. McConnell worked with Pelosi for setup. Epps and Jaden X, a.k.a. John Sullivan, might know. John Sullivan he's one of the Antifa guys from Utah who wasn't even charged until we all started screaming about why this guy wasn't charged, right?
Yeah, he got $90,000 for his footage.
They got paid to do it.
Yeah,
but they said that they took that money from him.
Yeah, right.
Do you believe that?
Nope, I don't believe it.
No, not for a second.
He might have took the cash, but he got it another way. He'll get a funnel to him somehow. But just the way, again, just the same thing, like how all these political prisoners are still in jail, sitting in jail. I think it's on both sides of. I think it's on both sides of the aisle. I don't think it's a one-sided issue. It's both sides. They just don't. They hate Trump that much because he was disrupting their corruptness, and they didn't like it.
You're absolutely right. I just remembered one more influential person has had this video for over a year, Mr. Mark Meadows, former President Trump's chief of staff. He also signed for a thumb drive. I believe it was in March of last year. Not this past March, but March of last year.
So I want to.
What's going on? I really
so I want to do two things. One, I want to bring this up because this is the Ashli for Ashli. It's for ASHLI.com. It is a website that you can go to, and you can get access to the roll call, you get access to the call of action, you get access to the background of what happened on January 6th. Also special announcements of where you can actually see Micki in the Capitol and Randy Ireland in Washington, D.C. at the Gulag through September 30th from 7 to 9:30 p.m. So go to for Ashli, the number 4 at Ashli, ASHLI.com. I also want to say this there's a lot of stuff to go through. I want to play this if we can, Bobby, and get your thoughts on it. You've been offered money. You've been offered, and by both sides. Republican side doesn't want you to talk about it. The Democratic side doesn't want to talk about it. So the people are literally these slaves. We're these people in the middle. And I think the dangerous part about this is that we find ourselves consistently having to fight through the narrative that they create. And frankly, I don't get it. I don't get how people could betray the people that they represent. I don't get it.
Power.
I don't either. But I'd like to remind everybody that our senators and representatives are public servants. We send them to Washington, D.C. to do what the hell we say do. Okay? They don't get to make up their own agenda. They don't get to leave people behind. Now, Chig, you know all about that. You don't leave a brother behind. Okay? It's just not done. And these people are slacking. They're not getting online. And we need to call them out on it.
I absolutely need to call him out. But I want to play this video if we can. This is the video of Basement Biden talking his extremist speech. This guy is as extreme as I think I've ever seen anyone be, and how angry he is. So play C1 for us, and then we'll close out the podcast. Go ahead. C1.
We can't be pro-insurrectionist and pro-American. They're incompatible. Too much of what's happening in our country today is not normal. Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic. Now, I want to be very clear up front. Not every Republican, not even the majority of Republicans are MAGA Republicans. Not every Republican embraces their extreme ideology. I know, because I've been able to work with these mainstream Republicans. But there's no question that the Republican Party today is dominated, driven, and intimidated by Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans. And that is a threat to this country. These are hard things. And now, America must choose to move forward or to move backwards, to build a future or obsess about the past, to be a nation of hope and unity and optimism, or a nation of fear, division, and of darkness. MAGA Republicans have made their choice. They embrace anger. They thrive on chaos. They live not in the light of truth, but in the shadow of lies. But together we can choose a different path. But as I stand here tonight, equality and democracy are under assault. We do ourselves no favor to pretend otherwise. So tonight, I've come to this place where it all began to speak as plainly as I can to the nation about the threats we face. But there's no question that the Republican Party today is dominated, driven, and intimidated by Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans. And that is a threat to this country. These are hard things. But I'm an American president, not a president of red America, blue America, but of all America. And I believe it's my duty to level with you, to tell the truth, no matter how difficult, no matter how painful. And here, in my view, is what is true. MAGA Republicans do not respect the Constitution. They do not believe in the rule of law. They do not recognize the will of the people. They refuse to accept the results of a free election. That's why tonight...
All right, take it down. Hey, what do you think of that?
I got all kinds of comments.
Well, I think...
So
I think he's ignorant.
So I know he couldn't really read the teleprompter.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna fix one of the sentences that he had when he said a threat to our republic. He meant to say threat to our communist republic. That's what he meant to say.
Right.
So he missed that word, but again, I guess he also forgot 2020. The left, their destruction.
The stealing of an election. I will never walk back. I will never walk back the fact that the election was stolen. I won't walk it back. And I know Democrats, Republicans, and independents that look at all the evidence and go, you guys have lost your mind. And they're not walking away from the Democrat Party. They're going, the Democrat Party walked away from me. They're gone.
Yep.
And the Republicans that he talks about that he can work with, man, I look at that. Micki, Bobby, I look at that and I'm disgusted.
They're the ones that got paid off.
Because it's disgusting. And when he says, the MAGA movement is a threat to this country, he's a threat to this country. And just listening to him talk makes me physically ill. And Brandon Straka said it, that we expect this behavior from the left, but the silence on the right has been deafening. And the January 6th committee, who we got Kinzinger on our side and Liz Cheney, who is no Republican. She doesn't know what she is. She finally rode the fence so long that she fell off and one side just devoured her. But Adam Kinzinger, he donated to Michael Bird's Give Send Go account and bragged about it on Facebook. I just, it's just so nauseating to listen to him talk that, the MAGA people are the threat, when we all know that he was the threat. And people that think that we should just get past January 6th, well, I beg to differ. An election was stolen. American citizens were murdered, beaten, and unjustly jailed where they still sit and rot. And if that doesn't disturb every single American person, we should be ashamed of ourselves. And I also, Bobby Powell, I'm going to be in D.C. all of September outside the D.C. Gulag. And I know I have your contact. I would welcome you to go and knock on some of these doors with me. So look me up, and we'll keep in touch. And I would absolutely love to have your help in this going forward.
All right, so Micki, you have to stay on. And Bobby, you have to stay on, but I have to pray for you guys. But before I do that, we have a fax blast that we do to Congress. We talk to Congress every day. We give people the opportunity to adopt the messages, the emails, the faxing. They have to go into it goes into an email account, and then they have to print them, and then the prints have to be then taken to meetings. So if you know anything about Congress, those become records, the records that they actually get from constituents. Bobby, I'd be surprised out of those 535 people that you sent that information to in Congress, I want to actually see how many of them entered that into record. Because anytime you send a congressman or a woman something, that has to go into record. So,
well, it's interesting that you mentioned the fax blast, because that's one of the methods that I used. I looked up on the congressional website every member that had a fax, and I bought a subscription to one of those email to fax things, and I sent it out to all of them. Okay, and that's in addition to the phone calls that I made. So now that you said that, there is a record of me reporting this to all these congressmen.
Yeah. So today we're really we got a lot of stuff going on all at the same time.
Yeah.
But the media is lying. The scientists are lying. They lie about everything. That's my problem. There's no truth. They don't tell the truth. These radicals don't tell the truth about anything, and they convince people that they're actually good people, because most people do not think the way evil thinks. So to fathom in your brain that they would do things to kill and hurt and maim and plan to hurt people in America, you just don't think it could ever happen.
Yeah, especially on a big scale.
But it did.
Yeah, I felt that way a year and a half ago. 603 days ago today, I wake up in a different America than I used to live in, and I understand how people want to believe everything's okay. And Joe Biden, he's a pretty convincing liar. So if you don't press into it and you don't look for these nooks and crannies of truth, you're not going to see them, because the mainstream media rams lies down your throat. And not only do they not tell lies, they just work really hard at suppressing the truth. But it's out there. So I would implore American people to do some research on your own and look at some of these videos that are out there. Nancy Pelosi decrees, as the queen that she thinks she is, that we can't see these 14,000 hours of footage. But to her dismay, American patriots have stepped up to the plate, and there is a lot of footage out there to be seen. We absolutely have video proof of some of these things. Bobby Powell's video being one of them. Epoch Times video being one of them. Again, Bloody Hill, writing history, Day of Outrage, all of those things. That the evidence is out there, and we just need to get the right people to look at it. But who are the right people? That they should be our representatives. And I agree with Bobby Powell. It's enough already. And I just can't. I want to know where the righteous indignation from the majority of American people are. I stand out there on the corner of that jail, and I think my best crowd has been 100 people, but I want to know where the veterans are. I want to know where the politicians are. I want to know where the American citizens that are just fed up are. And if you can't come stand on the corner in D.C., I understand that, because, I've had help to be able to be there. But there are jails all over this country. There are people that can write their congressmen. They can write these men. They can put money on their commissary. They can let them know they're supported in some way, because these men feel like America has thrown them away, and they're not completely wrong. And 70% of the people arrested that day were American veterans. And it's time for our veterans organizations to stand up for them. There's been no help to them from any corner. And I understand, just in trying to bury my daughter, how they can be suppressive and repressive and just stifle you at every corner. But it's time for people to stand up and show up somewhere. It doesn't have to be on the corner of the D.C. jail, but it has to be somewhere. American people need to pull their courage out of their hat and go do something. Stand up, do something. Call somebody, write somebody, do something. Every single American that's pissed off about what's going on has got to stop sitting on the couch talking about how pissed off they are and taking to Twitter and talk about how pissed off they are. They need to take action in a tangible way.
Amen. Mm-hmm. Amen. Bobby, so before you get off the phone, Micki and Bobby, I'm going to pray for both of you. We pray for after every show. Bobby, I want to give you the final word. And we're going to send out, Ash is going to send out Ashep is going to send out a fax blast, Bobby, with your video to everyone in Congress and give everybody the opportunity to do that. That will be the fax that we do tomorrow. So pay attention to that, people. I'll be doing a video on that later. But we want to hit it hard. This is the video someone offered you a couple $100,000 on. I want to make sure that that video gets in front of Congress and that people know that they say, hey, listen, we saw it. Why can't you all 535 of you, why can't you get involved in stopping this show on January 6th? You have a federal agent right here. I want that guy arrested. Who is he? Let's uncover that guy, right? I shouldn't have to do it.
Absolutely.
Bobby, to you.
Okay. Most important thing anybody can do is share the videos that you find at my site right here. How do you like my redneck graphics? BobbyPowell.substack.com. Okay, go there and you will not only see the video for yourself, but I've also established a Dropbox. I relinquish copyright for any creator who wants to download this video, make his own video, and then upload it to the internet. I don't care about getting paid behind this. Okay, we're fighting a war. Okay, and we'll worry about logistics later. Right now, we've got to fight. So go to BobbyPowell.substack.com and share and watch all those videos. Make sure, and don't just do it once, kids. You've got to do it over and over and over again. I'm at it 16, 18 hours a day. I need to ask you to give me 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay? Just pick a video, pick one a day, and share it everywhere that you have a presence on the internet.
And
the next day, pick a different video, and then share that one. Just keep it going. It can't stop. Can't let them sweep this under the rug, or they will.
Well, I think that we have to have more resolve, so I agree with you. Tig?
No, I mean, they've swept it underneath the rug.
But they've swept everything that they've done wrong underneath the rug.
Oh, yeah.
And then they lie, and they overhear it with lies. Lie. We also have to, Bobby and Micki and Tig, we got to tell them that they're liars. We have to say, liar, liar. That should be the post you put on your social media, every social media. Here's what I want you to do. Homework assignment. Biden, liar. Pelosi, liar.
Just liar.
Just liar. Just call them what they are. Liars. Communists. Liars. Devils. Evil. They don't like being called what they are. Cowards. All right, I'm going to pray for you guys. We're out of time. I do want to thank everyone for being involved. I want to thank everyone for the donations. I do want to tell you to go to forashli.com. That's for the number 4, ASHLI.com. And check it out. Donate if you can. There is a way to contribute and to donate for all the work that Micki's doing. So I'm going to pray for you guys if I can. Father God, thank you for the opportunity we have to share truth. Thank you for making unfettered truth available to all of us. Father, thank you for the strength, the courage, commitment that Micki and Bobby have shown. Father, I want to thank you for the stamina that you've given them. I want to thank you for the spirit that you've lifted them up with. Father, I want to pray a special blessing on Micki. I know how hard it is to feel that loss and injustice all at the same time, and there's a tendency to move towards anger, there's a tendency to move towards just hardening your heart. Father, I just ask you to put a special blessing of peace on Micki. Put a special blessing of peace upon her soul, that she can do your work, Father, so she can stand in the gap and do the things to hold that evil accountable and to rid our government and our institutions of that evil. Father, I just ask you to just be with her at all times, Father. I would ask you to give her the courage and the strength and the wisdom to see through and navigate all the things that they say and do. Father, I would just ask you to expose more of what is happening in our nation, and to give us the strength and give us the pathway forward, give us the wisdom to know what path to choose in order to uncover and to stop it, Father, to put a stop in it. Learning the power of the word no, Father, and learning that we can stand together in unity and actually use those words. Father, I would ask you to put a blessing, a protection over both of both Bobby and Micki and their families, Father. Help them that they may speak this truth. They may be ambassadors of truth. They may be an example of the courage that we need to have as Americans. Father, please bless the work that's being done. Please bless Bobby that his videos can get across the entire country. Please reach into the hearts of the congressmen and women that they may actually have courage, stand up for what's right, and not sweep it aside and act like there's nothing to see here. Father, we're in trouble in this country, and we are here to serve you. I just ask you to give us the strength to serve you, give us the weapons that we need to serve, and to return sensibility to our nation and to our communities, Father. We ask for all of these things, Father, in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
I want
Thank you.
to thank you both for being on the show. And we'll be back. We'll be back in touch, Bobby. We'll get your videos out. We'll place them out on. I don't know again what's happening to Rumble. Everyone hit the Rumble button and share it. They are literally throttling us every which way but Sunday. I did not expect that from Rumble, but it is definitely happening. But I just thank everyone for being on the Frank speech and being on all the different channels that we're on. So, Bobby, we'll talk again. Micki, thank you for the work that you're doing, and God bless you both.
Yep, keep fighting.
It was a huge honor to speak with Joe Altman of Conservative Daily on Frank's speech and his co-host, Tiegen. Man is a real hero. And hope to get to know him better. We've got some things in common. I did some deep dives on Benghazi back in the day, and I'd like to get his take on it. But in this next segment, we're going to talk to filmmaker David Sumerall of StopHate.com and J6 defendant AJ Fischer, video researcher Gary McBride, Citizens Against Political Persecution co-founder Randy Ireland, and film videographer Tommy Tatum, who was with Roseann Boyland while she was beaten to death by a D.C. police officer. We'll be back with that and more in 2 minutes. Stand by.
Oh, I'm Mike Lindell. Retailers, shopping channels, and now even banks have tried canceling myself and MyPillow. Well, during these times, your support has meant everything to us. My employees and I want to personally thank each and every one of you by passing the savings directly onto you. For a limited time, you can get my brand new product, My Slippers, for 50% off. That's the lowest price ever. And remember, My Slippers come with an exclusive 4-layer design. These layers combine to give you amazing comfort and support and help reduce stress on your feet. And with the durable indoor-outdoor sole, you can wear My Slippers anytime, anywhere. I personally guarantee these will be the most comfortable slippers you'll ever own. So go to MyPillow.com now and use the promo code on your screen or call the 1-800 number below to get My Slippers for 50% off, the lowest price in history. And if you do it right now, I'm going to include a free gift with your purchase. Thank you and God bless.
Now, I'm standing here today telling you God's truth, speaking in the name of and with the authority of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, because I am telling you the truth. It was the FBI and not Trump supporters who led the insurrection at the Capitol on January 6th.
Don't forget, if you'd like to get an autographed copy of Insight Magazine with my story right there in the centerfold, a 4-page spread, all you got to do is go to givesendgo.com/Bobby Powell and throw me $500. I'm sorry, but I'm desperate. We've got to get some forward momentum on this, and it takes money, kids. It really does. I need your help, and I will do anything. I might even start selling blood. I don't know. Whatever I got to do, I don't care. So now we're going to get to the second part of the show, and we're going to talk to a bunch of wonderful people, hosted by Zach Payne, Red Pill 78 News. We're going to talk to video researcher Gary McBride. We're going to talk to filmmaker David Sumerall of StopHate.com, Citizens Against Persecution co-founder Randy Ireland, and Tommy Tatum, the videographer who was with Roseann Boyland when she was murdered by a D.C. police officer. So without further ado, let's get right to that.
All right, welcome back to the show, everyone. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us tonight. We're joined tonight by a group of incredible patriots, each of them taking a different route to raise awareness for what happened on January 6th and the travesty, the injustice that's happened since then. We're going to go around, and I just want everybody to introduce themselves to the audience, and we're going to start with Bobby up in the upper left of the audience's screen. Bobby, how are you tonight?
I'm pretty good, Zach. Thanks for having me on. Everybody just wants to know about me real quick. I'm a journalist, have been since 1987 when I graduated from journalism school, and I was in Washington, D.C. on January 6th. It was supposed to be my very last gig ever. Then I was going to retire and go fishing. Well, guess God had different plans, because I ended up capturing video of 2 federal agents attacking the Capitol, and that's why I'm here tonight.
It's an incredible thing, man. God does work in mysterious ways. Tommy, how are you tonight, sir? Good to see you.
Doing good. Thank you for having me on, Zach. My name is Tommy Tatum. I'm from Mississippi originally, and I have some radio history, but I started an independent website, a little local thing in my home county, Washington County Auditor is what it's called. And that's why I went to January 6th. And several things happened today, but the thing that I want people to know the most about is I was with Roseann Boyland for the entire 8 minutes and up to the moment that she was killed. And that's kind of my mission in life now, is to get her story out.
Well, thank you for continuing to do so. Randy, this is our first time meeting, but thank you very much for being here. Tell us about yourself.
Yes, thank you so much for having me on. My name is Randy Ireland. I'm co-founder of Americans for Justice. I'm probably one of the few involved in all of this that was not there on January 6th, but I have been very much involved from the very beginning. Last April, I co-founded Citizens Against Political Persecution with Kara Casanova. We've done a lot of things in terms of educating Americans about the treatment of our January 6th political prisoners. And really, the focal point for Americans for Justice is really unifying people around the Constitution, Bill of Rights, and due process. And so that's really what we're doing. Over the last month, I've had the incredible privilege of being here in D.C. with Micki, Ashli Babbitt's mom. And we've been at the D.C. jail almost every night through the month of August, and we've extended that. We'll be here through the end of September. So anybody watching and in the D.C. area, please come out to the D.C. jail. We're there every night, 7 p.m. to 9:30, 10. But thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you for your work. I appreciate it. And David Sumerall, this is our first time on a show together, but we had the pleasure of meeting at Mike Lindell's Moment of Truth. I'm really glad to have you here.
Hey, it was great to meet you there. That was a great conference as well, summit, what have you. StopHate.com started in 92. Went to DC, took a film crew so we could try to capture some of the events. Came home, made writing history, just put out Bloody Hill. Just fighting for these prisoners and their families every day. I mean, that's what it's all about. It's about action. We just try to motivate people to do something and try to give them plenty of options and opportunities to choose from. Something for everyone out there. Please get involved.
And I just had the pleasure of completing Bloody Hill earlier today. It's a great film, so thank you for your work. And also, Gary McBride, this is the first time we're meeting, but obviously I mentioned your film that they put out on Epic Times TV. Obviously, it's a great summation of what happened on January 6th, and thank you very much for being here.
Thanks for having me, Zach. Yeah, my name is Gary McBride, founder of M5 News. You can find me at m5newsgate.com and on Rumble at M5 News, and a contributor also on The New Prisoner, number 6.
All right, great. Appreciate your work. And then
you.
finally, our returning guest of the program, AJ Fischer. AJ, you're a defendant in January 6th. You've been persecuted by the government. Thank you once again for showing up tonight.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. My name is AJ Fischer. I'm an Air Force veteran. I'm a proud boy.
I'm a witness to police brutality on January 6th, and I'm a political prisoner. I was released from jail in March, and ever since then, I've been fighting for the prisoners and to get the word out about January 6th. And Zach, since we last talked, I've been pretty busy, and I've got a lot to share with you.
Okay, well, please, let's go ahead and get started. What is it?
Sure. So we started a organization. It's a nonprofit fund called investigatej6.org. And in the past, we've seen a lot of these guys are raising money for lawyers, for attorneys, costs $100,000, $200,000. And, we're not really seeing the results. Some people don't have trials till next year. So it's a lot of money to raise for all these different, there's 800 defendants. So I wanted to do something a little different. I got the pleasure of meeting Dave and Gary post my imprisonment and saw the work they were doing. And I realized that investigating January 6th, getting money to do FOIA requests, video analysis, just to do real investigative work that the media and journalists have, not done since January 6th. I see that as a real thing that we should rally behind and something that we should really do. Because we can help 800 defendants, with one fund rather than these legal funds.
I think it's a great idea. And did you say that you had something that you wanted to show the audience as well?
Yeah, I've got some clips that I've made. They're on the website. So if you'll allow me to share my screen.
Yeah, please go ahead.
It's my first time sharing a screen on.
If you've got more than one screen, all of them will show up.
Am I live right now?
No, not yet. No.
Okay.
It's no problem. I actually might be able to pull up our email. No, there you go. There we go.
All right, here we are. So here's the website, investigatej6.org. And I just want you to check out, I've got 2 videos here. This is the true story of January 6th in 1 minute.
They were invited in by the police officers. On one side of the building, on the other side of the building, they're getting passed and pushed and agitated with shock grenades, concussion grenades, deadly devices, as proven by what happened.
He was completely out of control. He himself was committing crimes in the process.
So I'll stop it right here. You've got 4 people here. Ashli Babbitt, everybody knows about. She was killed around 4 p.m. on January 6th, shot by a police officer. Roseann Boyland, most people have heard about. Around 2 p.m., she was beaten to death by DC police officer Lila Morris. The 2 that nobody knows about are Benjamin Phillips and Kevin Greason. Benjamin Phillips was killed by a grenade at about 1:05 p.m. Now, Trump's speech didn't end until 1:15. This was a peaceful protest outside the west side of the Capitol, and nobody had entered the Capitol for another hour. People had just assembled peacefully, and a grenade was thrown into the crowd and murdered him. And about 20 minutes later, at 1:28, Kevin Greason was also killed by a grenade. And what people don't understand is they'll see videos of people in the Capitol, people fighting police, and they don't understand the timeline. And what we've seen from the J6 committee thus far is they're editing videos, selectively putting videos together that ignore the timeline. And if you really follow the timeline, you see that there was no riot going on, riot until 2 people were murdered, until an entire crowd was attacked with lethal munitions. And the other video I have is a comparison to in 2018 and in 2020, there were multiple incursions, multiple breaches of the Capitol. And you'll see here, they actually had a committee in Congress on the Lafayette Square riots. And Congress here, 5 months before January 6th, is determined to get to the bottom of what happened to these protesters. So I want to share this as well. January 6th wasn't the first time that anyone had protested at the Capitol, but it was the first time that Capitol Police and DC Police had ever used lethal munitions on a crowd and killed people.
The whole nation witnessed President Trump, White House, Justice, and defense officials authorize use of force to remove peaceful protesters. Lafayette Square Park and the adjacent Pennsylvania Avenue, an area right in front of the White House, is our nation's public square.
This is the atrium of the Hart Senate office building. If you take a look, as these protesters come to Capitol Hill to say no to the Kavanaugh nomination. The way this works is the authorities essentially give them a citation. It's sort of like a ticket. They have to pay bail. It's about $50. And then they're released. And I'm told by the lawyers for the protesters that those charges do not remain on their criminal records.
Our nation's public square.
You all know how proud I am of each and every single one of you for putting yourselves and your bodies and everything on the line.
Is our nation's public square. This is a traditional area for Americans to express our First Amendment rights, the infringement of which deserves heightened scrutiny.
So the question I want to know, and the question that Congress needs to answer for us, is why were January 6th protesters treated so brutally when clearly, as we see here, protests in the Capitol happen all the time. And it's encouraged by the establishment. They gave them a $50 ticket when they protested for Kavanaugh. So people were there protesting what they believed to be a stolen election, and people were protesting against the appointment of a Supreme Court justice. I'd like to know why the double standard.
Well, it's an excellent question, and I think it's something that our elected leaders really have yet to answer so far. Bobby, I understand you've been trying about as hard as anybody can to get our Congress and senators to actually take a look at some of this stuff and to acknowledge what actually happened that day. Tell us a little bit about that.
I will be back to tell Zach and you all about it in 2 minutes. Stand by.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and I'm here to tell you about my new product from MyPillow, towels that actually work. Watch this absorbency test. Here's another towel that we randomly went out and bought. Here's one of my towels with the nice design. I don't know if you can see this, but you could line a swimming pool with this. This is crazy. Get rid of it. Towels that actually work.
The new MyPillow towels are exclusively made with 100% USA combed cotton with proprietary technology and with maximum absorbency. They dry you faster and are guaranteed to work.
I'm interrupting this commercial to bring you my BOGO extravaganza. For example, you get one of my Giza Dream bed sheets and you get a second set absolutely free, or my 6-piece towel sets. Buy one set, get another one absolutely free, or get my classic premium MyPillow and get another one absolutely free. So call the number on your screen or go to mypillow.com and use your promo code to get my buy one, get one free offers and get deep discounts on all MyPillow products.
And I don't want no one to cry, but tell them if I don't survive, I was born free. I was born free. I was born free. Born free.
Now, I'm standing here today telling you God's truth, speaking in the name of and with the authority of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, because I am telling you the truth. It was the FBI and not Trump supporters who led the insurrection at the Capitol on January 6th.
Like an untamed stallion, if you can't see my heart, you must be blind. You can knock me down and watch me bleed, but you can't keep no chains on me. I was born free. I was born free.
Remember, kids, the most important thing you can do is like, comment, and share. Don't just do it once. Do it over and over and over again. I'm banging away at this 16, 18 hours a day. I think you can give the Republic, give your children 10 to 15 minutes each day. Just go to bobbypowell.substack.com, pick one of my stories, and share it. Share it everywhere. Put it on Facebook, put it on Getter, put it on MeWe, Gab, Truth Social, where you can find me, by the way, at Bobby_Powell. That's Truth Social is the new place, kids. It really is. The place is on fire. and that's where you want to be. So right now, let's get back to this show with Zach Payne, and we'll tell everybody how it goes. It's the most amazing thing I've ever seen. Oh man, it's been a journey. It's been 19 months, brother. I have given this video that I shot of 2 federal agents attacking the Capitol to everybody I can think of, everybody with a pulse. I started with the FBI on January 15th, 2021. I gave them 29 minutes of high-definition video of 2 men attacking the building. And as of today, neither man has been arrested. The FBI has not uploaded a single frame of my video. It hasn't uploaded a single still picture of either man. I have volunteered to come in and give the FBI an interview, and all of the video that I recorded on the 5th, 6th, and 7th 5 times, and I have been refused each time. So it's obvious to me by now that they don't want to hear anything about this. And that's okay, because I know that they're dirty. They're not going to investigate themselves. Right. So I went to the Department of Justice Inspector General, filed a report there. Went to the FBI's Office of Professional Responsibility, filed a report there. Then the next year comes around, haven't heard anything again about them. I filed another report with both the DOJ, IG, and the FBI's Office of Professional Responsibility. Still haven't heard a thing. I have contacted 535 members of Congress and told them about the existence of this video. 17 of them have responded. We're talking about people like Senator Josh Hawley, Kirsten Sinema, Louis Gohmert, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Matt Gaetz, people that should have our backs. Okay, these people are known as firebrands. They go out there and they say, we're going to get the job done. Well, they're not getting the job done. Some of these representatives have had this video for almost 19 months. Okay, Hawley and Sinema got it in February of 2021. And since then, I've been just going around the country, literally putting thumb drives in their hands. Okay, and asking them, what are you going to do about this? And as of today, none of them have said a word. None of them have gotten back to me after our initial conversations. I don't get it. I got one kind of an explanation, and Zach, that graphic might come in handy right about now.
I don't have it pulled up, but if you've got it, then you're welcome to share it on screen.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'll just tell you while I'm searching for it. Oh, there it is, right there.
Perfect.
Okay.
So while you're about to share your screen, I just want to go back to a point that AJ made. You know, AJ, seeing those circumstances side by side, I mean, it's striking to understand just how different the response was against supporters of President Trump versus supporters of leftist subversives. You know, they were so interested in helping these people to essentially destabilize the government. And yet when it came to us simply wanting to have our voices heard, they looked at us as if we were terrorists, and they set it up so that we would look like terrorists and they could control that narrative. Bobby, go ahead and show that graphic.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so last year at the Patriot Network Summit,
it's not being shared.
Well, I haven't shared it yet.
Oh, good. Okay. Just wanted to make sure you weren't teeing up something that wasn't there.
Okay, share screen. Okay, one participant can share at a time. Okay, here we go. I was giving my I gave my video to Kirk Bell. Kirk Bell is the chief of staff for Congressman Pete Sessions in Texas 17th District. I gave it to him at the Patriot Network Summit last year. That was last June. And he in turn gave it to Jim Jordan and Representative Sessions. And a few months ago, I got back in touch with him and I asked him, Kirk, did anything ever come of the video that I gave you of the 2 federal agents attacking the Capitol? Did Sessions ever see it? Jordan? Anyone? Are you seeing this picture now?
Oh, yes, we're seeing it now.
And Kurt Bell, Chief of Staff for Representative Pete Sessions, he says, yes, they have seen it. We are keeping our powder dry until after November. No use putting anything out there currently.
It's pretty infuriating because the insinuation is they don't want to reveal the information until after the midterms. And this is where I was going with the point for what AJ said. You know, before you vote, go and make sure you speak to the people who are going to be elected in this next section of Congress. As horrific as it is for the people who are locked up right now, for the people who have gotten no justice, I think that our best chance of actually receiving that justice and having the truly guilty people held accountable isn't going to be until that next session. And if they have this information and they've refused to bring it out, they tell you explicitly that they don't want to bother bringing it out now. You know, I mean, it really angers me. It really angers me. But I also understand what they're doing. I don't think that it makes it any better for the people who are locked up right now. I don't think it makes it any better for the tens of thousands of Americans that are suffering in silence every single day, wondering if the FBI is going to show up at their door, wondering if they're going to get the brown shirt, jackbooted thugs coming through their front door, dragging them away from their families in the middle of the night. You know, I mean, I actually know some people who are probably going to be elected in that next session of Congress. And you know, anything that you want to make sure that they see that could be brought up in front of these committees, please. I mean, I want to make sure that I have it so that I can explicitly give it to them. But it angers me.
Yeah, it angers me too, brother. Okay, we've got January 6 defendants that are being sentenced to ridiculously long prison sentences for doing nothing more than parading or trespassing, whatever the heck that is. And as AJ just showed, when Kavanaugh's confirmation was going on, people were parading and picketing and demonstrating. They're not spending 20 years in prison.
A ticket and that won't even stay on their permanent record. I can't even with that.
Exactly. And while they're being detained, these prisoners are being physically abused by their captors, okay? And they're psychologically tortured to the point where 2 of them have committed suicide in just the last 2 months. This is unacceptable. I don't care what their reasons are. These politicians are playing politics with people's lives, and they have to stop doing that. I would say I'm not going to vote for you, but I don't even know if voting even matters anymore. I'm going to do it just in case. But you know, things are so messed up. The people that have the power are so corrupt, and even the people that are supposed to oppose them have their own political agendas, and they're not bringing forward the truth. That's my problem.
No, absolutely.
They're hurting people.
I completely agree with you. Now, Tommy, we were talking before the show, and you said that President Trump finally made a statement about the January 6ers that are being held in prison and those who are charged.
Yes, it's probably one of the lead stories on the Gateway Pundit within the last couple hours. He says that he has a couple things. He said he has been meeting with some January 6th defendants. He's had some in his office. He's helping some financially, and he says that if he runs and is reelected, he will strongly consider giving all J6 defendants pardons and a government apology.
I mean, he has to. I mean, if I can be perfectly honest, guys, you know, I love President Trump, but I mean, I know a lot of people are very upset that it's taken him this long to come out with a strong stance about what's been happening to these people.
I remember walking back from the Capitol that day and completely naive, had no idea what just happened to us, and thinking, "Where's my president?"
Yep.
You know, I love the man too, but that's an honest feeling.
I feel the same way, Tommy. I really do. I've placed all my hopes and faith in President Trump to lead us out of this darkness that the Democrats have descended us into. I don't think anybody else could do it. I know he's got his own troubles right now, but I really wish he'd speak out more forcefully for the January 6th prisoners. I really do. And I really wish that I knew that he had seen my video. because if I knew that, I could stop beating my head up against the wall every doggone day. So don't forget to like, comment, and share. And don't just do it once, do it multiple times. And go to bobbypowell.substack.com and subscribe over there. The subscriptions are free. You can, however, buy a paid subscription and support the cause. You won't get anything extra at the moment. I'm working on some swag, but I don't have anything yet. But you will get the knowledge that for less than a Starbucks cup of coffee a month, you are helping the fight. We'll be back in 2 minutes with the rest of the panel. Stand by.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. I started by using the world's best cotton called Giza. It's only grown in a region between the Sahara Desert, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River. It's ultra soft and breathable, but extremely durable. I guarantee you they'll be the most comfortable sheets you'll ever own.
I do not like my sheets. I love my Giza Dream sheets.
I'm interrupting this commercial to bring you my BOGO extravaganza. For example, you can buy one of my Giza Dream bed sheets and get a second set absolutely free. Or my 6-piece towel sets. Buy one set, get another one absolutely free. Or you can get my classic premium My Pillow and get another one absolutely free. So call the number on your screen or go to mypillow.com. Use your promo code to get my buy one, get one free offers and get deep discounts on all My Pillow products.
And I don't want no one to cry, but tell them if I don't survive, I was born free. I was born free. I was born free. Born free.
Now, I'm standing here today telling you God's truth, speaking in the name of and with the authority of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, because I am telling you the truth. It was the FBI and not Trump supporters who led the insurrection at the Capitol on January 6th.
Like an untamed stallion, if you can't see my heart, you must be blind. You can knock me down and watch me bleed, but you can't keep no chains on me. I was born free. I was born free.
Remember to go to givesendgo.com/Bobby Powell and throw me a couple of bucks. If you have $500 in your pocket, you will get an autographed copy of Insight magazine. Never thought I'd be a centerfold, but boy, oh boy, here it is. 4 pages worth. It's a beautiful magazine. Love this paper. High quality. Epic Times, Epoch Times, however you say it. They rock. And for $500, you'll get a signed autographed copy. So right now, let's get right back to the panel.
Let me go over here to David and Gary, because I would imagine that when people see your films, there is something that's stirred up. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking that people are too human nowadays, but for me, because I was there, because I saw this stuff, AJ, one of those men was directly behind me. I watched that canister get shot into the crowd, and I watched that guy drop to the ground. I don't know which one it was, but I saw it right in front of me, and I was just shocked. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe what I saw happening in front of my face. David, and then we'll go to Gary. What has the response been from the films? Are you achieving the desired result? Do people see this? Did people get it?
I like to think so, but it's such small numbers. No matter what we do, the censorship, the shadow banning, whatever you want to call it, the majority of people, I guess if you still did a survey on the street and asked, 8 out of 10 people wouldn't know what January 6th means to anybody. That's the sad part. The left has done a really good job at everything that they do to suppress that. But, the reactions to the films, and I'll let Gary answer in on that too, but, they're very raw. People bawl their heads off. They don't know. And when they finally figure out what's going on, they feel bad that they hadn't done something yet. And we're finding people that have never given a dime that just want to give, and there's ways to do that. stophate.com/J6. I'll throw that out there. There's calls to action, a lot of them. And some are free, some are letters, some are prayers. There's things to do for people. And when they find out what they don't know, they want to get involved for the most part, and then there's the people that are still the doubters that think that it's all lies and that we're all bad. And I don't think you'll ever get through to some of those. But before we switch to Gary, let me just say real quick, I would like to hold these elected officials accountable for knowing about these crimes and not reporting them. These are murders. These are murders. And the fact that even the ones on our side, let's just say it like it is, they know that our people were murdered by Capitol Police. Where are the reports? So that's kind of what I'm mad about today, and that's probably where I'm going to stay until this thing's over. Go ahead, Gary.
No, everybody knows how truthful I am, so here we go.
Go for it.
The Epoch Times documentary, they cut me out of it at the end, so I won't even talk about it. I mean, if you want me to, I will. But
yep, I mean, I had no idea that happened. So yeah, I mean, unload if you want to.
No, it's they know what they did, and I would rather continue my focus on the J6ers instead of touting myself up as thinking they know what they're talking about. So the J6 thing is I wish y'all could be in our shoes when you know what we know, because that 14,000 hours that they have, that's what we need, and we know what's in it. And it's the truth, and it has to be. DOJ and FBI get to choose what they get to put out there, so the media can blast J6ers and their families and whatever else and smear them. But what they don't show is the before or the after, and that's where the truth lies. That's where they're holding the exculpatory evidence. That's why people like Bobby can't get nothing done, because he's trying to get this story out, and it's hidden in the 14,000 hours, and they don't want to release that because then the truth is out. As long as they keep it hidden, and people like us bring them stories, they don't want to talk about it because that brings the truth out. And it's, but we're not going to stop. We're not going to stop at all. Each one of us on here tonight has fought tooth and nail from day one just to get these stories out. And David's right. It's that's my thing too, holding the elected officials accountable. Each and every one of them, because they know what they've done. They know what they've seen. Like the J6 committee, it's a joke.
Hey,
they're manipulating footage. Yeah, David.
I can honestly say this group right here, this show, I've never seen as many quality fighters for J6 in one place at one time. And not just me, but support these other guys, people. These are the people putting points on the board. Gary's investigation work from day one. He wasn't there on January 6th. He's been a trooper, 18, 20 plus hour days digging through this stuff. I'm sure you've probably banked 7,000 plus hours by now. That's probably twice what I have in. And, that's an obsessive level, and you have to be there. But the 14,000 hours, as investigators, we can see these things that the public can't see. And it corroborates these stories, guys. It just lets you know that these prisoners, when they say these things, they're true. We can find their stories in video. We can see, Victoria White getting hit in the head with that baton 30 something times in a couple of minutes. When you go through this footage, you'll see that over and over and over and over. Head lacerations, teeth knocked out, eyes just almost busted out. It's just the most horrible brutality. And for them to say it's objectively reasonable, and for the people on our side not to call them out and hold them to the fire on that is criminal.
Well, it's not objectively reasonable. I'm sorry there, because it is absolutely against policy for DC police officers to hit anybody in the head.
Yes.
The Chief Conte was quick to come out and give less than 5 days to turn over and show body cam footage and footage from a restaurant. I always said that Officer Thau and Bagshaw, if they haven't killed anybody yet, they're going to one day. And Officer Bagshaw shot somebody in July and killed him. Same officer that beat the heck out of Victoria. And I've learned to find out that every citizen in DC knows exactly who this officer is and has talked about him, has reported him over and over and over again about his abuse, how he targets protesters, because that's what he's over. He's over the CDU unit. And now he has killed somebody. And he should be there.
There's also footage of him on Instagram picking up a George Floyd protester, throwing him into the pavement.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a video promoting show up. Yeah. But it's Bobby just mentioned it, this excessive use of force. They say it's objectively reasonable. The officer gets away with it. It continues and continues until they just get away with everything and kill somebody. There has to be a change there as well. There's a lot to fix.
There's one thing I just want to add to that in terms of the excessive use of force. I've been fortunate enough over the last month to go into the courtroom on some of these cases. Kyle Fitzsimon was just there in the courtroom. And I have got to say that the public defender in his trial exposed so much of the lies and the slanders. She did a really, really great job. And not only that, but just this week alone, there was a bench trial that started with 3 defendants. And in this particular one, I want to say that there's 10 to 12 law enforcement officers taking a stand. The very first one was like a platoon commander that was down below before the tunnel and all of that. And one of the things that he said during his testimony was talking about excessive use of force. He had one of the full rectangle riot shields. And at one point he was like, he was questioned. I believe it was the attorney Shipley, Bill Shipley, I believe is his name. And he mentioned that his training he was questioned by Shipley about the training with the shield. Is it strictly defensive? Is it ever to be used as an offensive or whatever? And he admitted there on the stand that, I was never trained offensively, but at one time on that, I turned this shield sideways and smashed somebody with the blunt end. In other words, like the bottom part of the shield. These guys are being showed in videos being showed in the court just over the last couple of weeks of some of this violence. One of them was that what someone had just mentioned in terms, I think it was Dave, about Victoria White. And so some of this stuff is starting to be questioned. And what we really need to do is focus on the attorneys and getting them, Gary's done an awesome job in getting a lot of the footage and stuff to these attorneys. And in saying that, just one thing real quick, Dave. Tom Webster, you guys all may know him. He was a retired NYPD. He actually stood trial, I want to say the end of May. He's supposed to be sentenced tomorrow, I think. But he maintained throughout that he was actually egged on by a law enforcement officer, but no evidence was really shown or credible evidence in his trial. And just, I want to say 4 or 5 days ago, Guy Reffitt and a couple of other guys in the DC jail came across footage within Discovery that actually showed that. I immediately got in touch with his lawyer, and I'm really hoping that they'll be able to push out the sentencing and really be able to admit this exculpatory evidence, because every single thing that Tom Webster did that day, is proven in this one particular video shot. So it's very important for all of us to keep on looking and finding these things,
It's very
David,
important. Let me just throw in real quick, because we're going to get in trouble if we don't do this. Here's the disclaimer, folks. Not all cops did bad things that day. Some cops were good. Officer Sicknick was good.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't fight anybody. He didn't do what the other guys did. He didn't do bad. A lot of people, and listen, the cops and the police, and the people were all put in a bad situation on purpose. It was supposed to go horribly wrong from the top down. That's what we've each proven over and over. And listen, after Vargo was pushed off the wall, right?
Yep.
The cop at the top of the things got his baton. He's saying, come on, who's next? Come on, who's next? There are multiple examples of them enticing and agitating and not just throwing grenades. Like that doesn't do it by itself. But it wasn't even declared a riot until Gary, like an hour after they killed the first guy. It was crazy to see that. And that's because of the police. The people didn't do that.
That's right. Most of the offensive violence that was committed on January 6th was committed by the police. And we're going to get right back to this panel discussion in just a couple minutes. I want to let you know about this beautiful Epic Time magazine called Insight. It featured my video on the inside. Let's see what other publishers have to say about Epic Times. New York Times says the Epic Times is one of the country's most powerful digital publishers. NBC News says the Epoch Times now wields one of the biggest social media followings of any news outlet. San Francisco Chronicle says more reach than any other mainstream news publisher. And The Atlantic says the most popular Apple newspaper app in the country. And Joe Hanneman wrote this great story. It's 4 pages, slick color on the inside, right on the cover. And you can get a signed copy for $500 going to givesendgo.com/Bobby Powell. If you don't have $500, I'll take 5, 10, the cost of a cup of a Starbucks cup of coffee. You know, it costs money to run this show and fight for liberty and justice, and I need your help, kids. I really do. You can also go to bobbypowell.substack.com and subscribe over there. Subscriptions are free, but if you care to contribute to the fight, you can buy a paid subscription. Don't have any swag at the moment, but I'm working on that. So we'll get some goodies for you kids. Now, let's get to a commercial and pay a couple of bills and get right back to the panel discussion on Red Pill 78 News.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and I'm here to tell you about my new product from MyPillow, towels that actually work. Watch this absorbency test. Here's another towel that we randomly went out and bought. Here's one of my towels with the nice design. I don't know if you can see this, but you could line a swimming pool with this. This is crazy. Get rid of it. Towels that actually work.
The new MyPillow towels are exclusively made with 100% USA combed cotton with proprietary technology and with maximum absorbency. They dry you faster and are guaranteed to work.
I'm interrupting this commercial to bring you my BOGO extravaganza. For example, you get one of my Giza Dream bed sheets and you get a second set absolutely free. Or my 6-piece towel sets. Buy one set, get another one absolutely free. Or get my classic premium MyPillow and get another one absolutely free. So call the number on your screen or go to mypillow.com and use your promo code to get my buy one, get one free offers and get deep discounts on all MyPillow products.
And I don't want no one to cry, but tell them if I don't survive, I was born free. I was born free. I was born free. Born free.
Now, I'm standing here today telling you God's truth, speaking in the name of and with the authority of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, because I am telling you the truth. It was the FBI and not Trump supporters who led the insurrection at the Capitol on January 6th.
Right.
I'd like to say real quick, to look maybe what I feel is happening, and you guys are keeping up with the news with the FBI informants coming forward now. And Zach, you said you saw the video earlier, and I'm sure you other guys have, when the FBI called me, because I had called Congressman Nell and told him exactly what happened to Roseann. I called you, Dave, and told you about it.
Yep.
And 4 days later, the FBI calls me, and these calls are on my Rumble channel. You can watch them.
Mm-hmm.
And they sounded almost apologetic to me. They admitted that I had called them a couple times. But anyway, long story short, he only wanted to know what happened to Roseann Boyland. They didn't hardly ask me anything about what I did that day. And I think that the tide is turning. I think we're getting momentum on our side. And I guess I bring this all up to say, if the FBI is out there watching this, now's the time to come forward. Right now is the time to come forward.
Well, this is something I had actually thought about previously. If Congress is waiting for the next session, then there is a possibility that the DOJ and the FBI are also elements within the DOJ and the FBI, I should say, are also waiting for that next session, so that it'll be a large enough portion of the government that could be sympathetic to what's happened to us, what's happened to other people out there. and can understand why those guilty parties that were at the Capitol, that were working for the government, need to get what's coming to them in terms of justice, in terms of nothing else.
Well, it's like we said in the last movie. I mean, it's not because we're a lawless people, it's because we're a lawful people.
Right.
And we won't stand for this. I mean, this is just wrong. It is torture. It's beyond prisoners. They're hostages. And we really need to figure out what we're going to do, not only to get them free, but to take control back of these people. I can't trust them with the roads and bridges, guys. I can't trust them with the taxes. I can't trust them with anything because they're in on these murders, because they know it's happening. They're not doing anything about it. They're letting this whole charade continue. And that, I mean, I'm telling you guys, everybody on this show knows these things. I just want your audience to really get that point. And I'm hogging this thing up today.
And the audience too, they really need to demand an investigation, a real J6 investigation in exchange for their vote. If your congressman or your senator won't talk about this, if you ask them and they won't talk to you about it, then they don't deserve your vote. Because like you said, then they're complicit in murder.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
You know, and
I've actually heard. I'm
Go ahead.
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
but
go ahead,
I've actually heard that from two congressmen, Greg Stubbe down in Florida and my own congressman up in Michigan, Jack Bergman. Both told me, "Well, I'm not on the right committee. I can't say anything." I'm like, "Dude, you're a United States congressman. Find a damn microphone and spill the beans."
Absolutely.
And they just don't have the courage, and they don't have the guts. I don't care what kind of political agenda that they have. Can you imagine the stink if Ted Cruz or Louis Gohmert or Marjorie Taylor Greene gets on national television and shows my video of 2 federal agents attacking the Capitol? Can you imagine? That would blow the January 6th joke show right out of the water. It would dominate the news cycle for the next 6 months until the midterms. So, you know, I don't get it. I don't understand why they're so cowardly. They think they might get a little bit more political advantage to wait till after the midterms. What about the people that are suffering right now? Okay, I'm not down with that, not in any way, shape, or form. So I'm gonna continue to keep on holding these elected representatives to the flame. I'm gonna keep on holding their feet to the fire.
Real quick, Gary. I'm sorry, Bobby. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Real quick, Gary, before you go. I think it'd be all the listeners and all the viewers, if you'll find Randy's name of the YouTube channel is A4 Justice on YouTube. And we'll be out there this whole month, and you can hear these prisoners call in. You can hear it. We will laugh and we will cry with them. And some of these stories, if you doubt what these men are going through, watch these live streams and listen to what they are going through. It will shock you. It will motivate you, and it will motivate your friends. So check it out. Listen to what they're going through.
Yeah, I just want to add to that. I want to say, what is it, 2 nights ago, Tommy? John McKillop had called in. And it was some raw. I mean, you get I don't know how many of you know the backdrop to him, but 22 years special forces, I believe. He was arrested. He's lost everything in the last year and a half. Everything he owns. His wife's divorcing him. Really, the only thing he has is his kids, you know, being able to talk to his kids. But the biggest thing is, it's like, you know, he got on the call, and if you guys get a chance, go back and watch the live stream, because it's like, you know, his message was basically like, you know, I sacrificed so much for my country. I served my country, and because my politics and my beliefs don't agree with theirs, they want to use that against me. They taught me to be a lethal weapon kind of a thing. I've gone out and used that, served them, but now the very thing that made me useful to my country is now being used against me to keep me detained and shut me down and shut me up. And I mean, he's not only that, but I think a lot of it too also comes from PTSD. I mean, over half of the guys that are indefinitely detained right now are veterans. Many of them decorated veterans. And that's the part of it. As an Air Force veteran, that's the part that really boils my blood. And I think we were talking about this with Micki, Tommy and Micki and myself on our way up to New York. I think the part of it that story from McKillop really shows us is that it's one thing to sit there and to say, actually, John Mellis, I think, was saying this on the phone to us. But it's one thing for us to say that veterans are being detained, but for us to also kind of, it's hard for us to put ourselves in their shoes and understand the mental aspect and mental anguish that all of that. I mean, can you imagine, going out multiple tour, being Purple Heart recipient? You're American heroes, but because of January 6th, the federal government points a finger at you, call you a terrorist, locks you away, and destroys your life, your family's life, everything that you spent your life doing.
Sadly, that's by design. I mean, who would be the leaders among us if we had to do something, to take our government back, to take our country back? Who are the people who run for office? Who are the people who step up? I mean, those are the men and women who have served. I mean, they are natural leaders. They've been taught to lead. They have been taught to do whatever it takes to get the objective done. And so they have locked these men and women up, these men up. And then tonight, Joe Biden doubled down on his claim that MAGA Republicans are a danger to the Republic. What did he say? He said that MAGA Republicans do not respect the Constitution. They promote authoritarian leaders and fan the flames of political violence. It's a joke. MAGA Republicans are clear and present danger. They embrace anger, thrive on chaos, and live in a shadow of lies. I mean, he couldn't project a more accurate picture of what the current regime is doing to Americans. Gary, you had something that you wanted to add in there a moment ago?
Tommy, you broke up.
Yeah. I thought that you had a point that you wanted to make before Tommy got in there.
No, after all this time, I feel like I finally had a breakthrough during Kyle Fitzgerald's trial, because when I was listening to it, I realized that they were just playing one video, and I knew there was more videos out there that totally showed a different story. So I immediately started putting a video together for Natasha Taylor Smith and found out who her investigator was and sent it to them, and they did play it the next day. And it's just, that was the breakthrough that I'm not going to go into my story, but that right there, that did so much for me after this past year and a half, a bunch of crap that, I was on cloud nine, and I realized that's the breakthrough. That's what I need to start doing. So, I'm trying to find out who's going up, what I have on them. If I don't have anything, I'm going to look at it. Mostly I do have stuff, but it's exactly what they're doing to us. Or to them, they're showing what they want to show and not the truth. And we have to have access. The people have to have access to watch this court, watch these cases. I mean, hell, you got Johnny Depp, we can watch him all day long. We need to be able to watch what's going on with our country and what's going on with these defendants, because that's where it's at. And then we try to call in, and the judge doesn't allow anybody to listen to it now when you call in. Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, again, completely by design, doing it all in the shadows. Excuse me, doing it all in the shadows so that nobody can help, nobody can take action, nobody can, offer any assistance to these people. But that's really actually great to hear. I didn't know that you had provided videos that they were actually using, and that female public defender. I mean, I saw some of the stuff that she had said in that line of questioning with that police officer, the ex-police officer. And I was frankly shocked. I mean, I couldn't believe that we had a public defender, a U.S. attorney, or if she's a D.C. public defender who was actually doing right by her client, and especially in a case in the January 6th trials.
And she separated politics from her work.
As exactly as she should. I mean, we simply have too many people who are ideologically aligned nowadays. People are not able to separate their politics from their job, and too often they're using their politics to ensure the destruction of a large portion of the country. It's disgusting. Tommy, go ahead.
Yeah, Zach, I heard someone say about her, Micki says that she defended Kyle Fitzsimon like he was her little brother. And I saw someone say that she'll never have to stand before her maker and tell her maker that she swore false witness to her brethren. So this lady, not to overstate it, but she kind of reminded me of the story of John Adams and the British soldiers, and she did such a good job. It was amazing. So she's got a bright future ahead of her.
Inspiring to see. And Bobby, you had your hand up?
Yeah, I was just going to expound on your point
of the leaders, people that would be leaders. Okay, Jeremy Brown, for example, is a two-time recipient of the Bronze Star for Valor. He is a 20-year veteran, a Green Beret. Okay, this man is the quintessential American. Okay, and he's currently running for office in Florida from the Pinellas County Jail. And he was only arrested by the FBI after he published audio of 2 federal agents trying to get him to spy on the Oath Keepers organization. Okay, that is the only reason he was arrested. It took them, 11 months after January 6th to decide to arrest Jeremy Brown. And he's one of those people that would be a leader if we needed to do something. And so I just wanted to put that out there. And Jeremy Brown and other political prisoners, they need our help. They need our love. They need our prayers. If we can get away from all the politics of this for just a second, I'd like to ask your viewers to, find their addresses, where they're incarcerated, and just send them a little love letter. Okay. You can't send them a care package, cookies, or anything like that. But you can send them a little letter. You can send them books. They have to come from Amazon, a direct book publisher. You can do anything that you can do, folks, to ease these prisoners' minds. Okay, because they're, like I said earlier, they're being psychologically tortured. They need to know that they're not alone. And they need to have something to do with their day other than look at 4 walls inside of a 4x6 cell. Okay, some of these guys aren't allowed out of their cells for like an hour a day. Sometimes they're in solitary confinement for weeks at a time, which is absolutely a war crime and against
Geneva
against the law in the United States. Geneva Convention. The fact that they haven't even been tried yet is a violation of the 6th Amendment. The federal government is just walking all over these guys' rights, and the only way that they're going to stop is if you and me and all of your friends get loud. Okay? These politicians that want to keep their powder dry until November, they're going to keep being silent. They're going to let these people suffer until you get loud, until you call them and email them and walk up to them. Okay, it's possible. I've done it. I've done it a dozen times in the last year. I walk up to a congressman and I put a thumb drive in his hand and I say, here's a video of 2 federal agents attacking the Capitol. Okay, I'm only one man, though. They can ignore me all day long, but they cannot ignore thousands of us.
Well, there's millions of us. If we all did this, then I think that it would have an immediate impact.
Sure,
David.
There's millions of us, but the 3%. Okay,
you're right.
I've found this to be a truth. Okay, people are afraid to even share posts because they don't want to lose their jobs. They won't even share information on social media. So the minority of us, those real patriots that just don't give a doggone, the field in which we grow our cares is totally barren, right? So we just got to get up there and we've got to be loud, and we've got to find other people like us that are not afraid to face this evil, because I'm telling you, it is evil. It's straight from the pits of hell. And if you walk up to it, and if you walk up to the devil wearing the full armor of God and you slap him right across the face, he's gonna fold, he's gonna buckle. There's nothing the devil can do in the face of the Almighty God. And you got to believe that, kids. Devil ain't got nothing on Christ. Okay, you speak his holy name and he will flee from you. Believe me, the devil tried to kill me 8 times in the last few years, and let me tell you something, he hits like a bitch. I'm wearing the full armor of God. Nothing's going to happen to me until the very moment that our Father in heaven decides to call me home. So no fear here. What about you? What are you doing? Can you like, comment, and share this video? Can you find the addresses for these political prisoners over at AmericanGulag.org? Send them a love letter. Let them know that you're thinking of them. Let them know that you're praying for them. Put some money on their commissary accounts, maybe. You send them a book from Amazon. Send them a Trump book. They'll love that. Just let them know that they're not being forgotten, kids. Let them know that we're out here fighting for them. They're being psychologically tortured. They're being physically abused. And they need every bit of love and support that they can get. So we'll be back with this panel discussion, the final segment, in just 2 minutes when I pay some bills here. So stand by.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. I started by using the world's best cotton called Giza. It's only grown in a region between the Sahara Desert, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River. It's ultra soft and breathable, but extremely durable. I guarantee you they'll be the most comfortable sheets you'll ever own.
I do not like my sheets. I love my Giza Dream sheets.
I'm interrupting this commercial to bring you my BOGO extravaganza. For example, you can buy one of my Giza Dream bed sheets and get a second set absolutely free. Or my 6-piece towel sets. Buy one set, get another one absolutely free. Or you can get my classic premium My Pillow and get another one absolutely free. So call the number on your screen or go to mypillow.com. Use your promo code to get my buy one, get one free offers and get deep discounts on all my pillow products.
Circling your head, contemplating everything you ever said. Now I see the truth, I got it down.
Now, I'm standing here today telling you God's truth, speaking in the name of and with the authority of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, because I am telling you the truth. It was the FBI and not Trump supporters who led the insurrection at the Capitol on January 6th.
Back off, I'll take you on. Headstrong to take on anyone. I know that you are wrong. Headstrong, we're headstrong. Back off, I'll take you on. Headstrong to take on anyone. I know that you are wrong, and this is not where you belong.
Remember, kids, if it's within your ability, please go to GiveSendGo.com/Bobby Powell and throw me a couple of bucks. It does take a lot of money to produce The Truth is Viral and fight for freedom and justice in this communist regime that we find ourselves living in. And if you want a special piece of history, you can get this Epic Times magazine right here. Joe Hanneman wrote a piece. They put my video on the cover, and it's got a 4-page full-color spread inside. I will sign this for you and mail it off to you for a donation of $500. So let's get back to this final segment of the show, and I'll be back with some final thoughts right after that. Okay, so
I can tell you right now, we're at disclaimer number 2. Get your relationship right with Jesus Christ first and foremost. That's the most important thing you people can do right now. I'm just telling you. Okay. And I think everybody get an amen on that, right?
Yeah.
Yes, brother.
Let me get a PTO.
Amen.
Okay, so now back to the trouble. You know, a minute ago you were talking about Biden's speech and everything, and I think if you go back and listen to the very last word, he says democracy, but he says it like 7 times before the last word. Democracy, democracy. We know it's a republic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and what we're seeing here, and Gary's going to testify, I'm going to turn it to him on this one because they are trying to take the meanings of these words as they've always done. Look at Stop Hate, man. They have just tortured us with the other side of it. It's not wholesome like it should be. You know, this is the different version where it means something real. And what they're doing with these in these terrorism enhancements and all this verbiage is for what Gary will tell you now. I had a really good meeting. I did a show yesterday with Mark Herr, and he knows what's going on here. He's got a Center for Self-Governance, and they're talking about how the SPLC uses these words, these different universities. Gary introduced me to the George Washington University angle, the program on extremism, and it's amazing to see that, in my opinion, they keep pushing the can down the street for discovery, but they're really just trying to get their words together, trying to get the meanings, trying to get these enhancements, trying to get anyone in America. And this is what we told people when we came home. They're coming for y'all next. And they said, no, we didn't do anything stupid. And then they went to a city council meeting and said, we don't like CRT. And all of a sudden, you know, boom, boom, boom. They're banging on the door and FBI. And so it's anybody that stands out against this government is considered a terrorist, a threat to persons or property, guys. This is scary. That the little ladies at church, when they say, we're going to plan to go down the Capitol on Saturday and pick it a little bit, walk around, do a Jericho march. Now it's organized, it's planned. You got a target. It's the building. And they can put you in jail. It's the test run on these J6ers, guys. Mm-hmm. It's the test run to see if they can get away with it. No due process, no trial, no charge, nothing, and keep them indefinitely. This is, Gary, am I right?
Absolutely right. And then, just like you said, test run. They probably did a test run on J20. And, you know, it's they're putting the fear of God in everybody. They're making you fearful to stand up and speak your mind because of what happened. The whole thing with George Washington University, this program, one of the papers written up was you have to have an event big enough to make the American people believe we need a domestic terrorism law. That event was J6. And it's working for them because they put fear in everybody and nobody wants to speak up. Nobody wants to come out. Nobody wants to talk. People, you need to talk. We're talking. We're still here. And we'll do it until
And they're using the Patriot Act.
You know, and somebody else will pick it up. But you got to stand up and talk. Yeah,
I was just going to say, this is kind of like the 21st century 9/11. They used 9/11 to usher in the Patriot Act. You know, acted as if, oh, we have this brand new legislation that we just put together as a result of this event that took place. But they had been working on it for quite some time. I think the same is true if they're trying to work on some type of new MAGA insurrectionist terrorist act that they're going to work out. And they probably already had it in place for quite some time. They were just looking for that specific moment to roll it out there and put it all out on us.
Wasn't Trump or the Patriots that had a plan, and it was someone from the top, you know who, but the 911 came out during Trump's second impeachment hearing. That's when they started comparing 911 with J6.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, that's what people need to understand too. It is as bad or worse than Pearl Harbor or 9/11 because our own government did it to us. It wasn't a foreign government. It had nothing to do with anybody else. And here's a thing we could do as a group. Let's go for a monument on the Capitol property that honors the people who were murdered, and it's permanent and it can't go anywhere, and it has to stay on the Capitol property forever. Yes. And because we can't let this happen again, because people don't know what happened or they wouldn't stand for it. That's the whole thing. And you know, honoring those people, you know, they have been blamed for their own deaths. 2 guys did not have heart attacks and strokes. They were murdered. 1 girl did not have a drug overdose. She was murdered. Ashli was murdered for no reason, shot in cold blood. And the 1 officer that they started the impeachment trials on did not die by any of our hands. He had a stroke. The police let him die. That's negligent homicide. They never treated his stroke, never gave him aid, and he collapsed and died. And they blame that on the very protesters. That's what people should be mad about. And we're not pushing for a civil war. We don't want to fight between people left and right because we don't have a beef with them. We have a beef with the leaders, the uniparty that's doing this to every single person. We don't want to overthrow the government. We want to throw the criminals out of the government, keep the Constitution, and push forward for the future. That's what we want.
This is not a left or a right. This is not a black or white. This is a people and power.
Amen.
People versus power is what it is. And
it's true.
At the end of the day, back to what you said, David, about the Patriot Act. People don't realize that the implications of January 6th, if they get away with this, will be far greater than the Patriot Act was in tearing down our republic. And it's funny, you know, Antifa, who are really the threat to our republic, they say all cops are bastards. Well, why are they aiding and abetting this abuse? Do they not realize that this is going to be turned on them as soon as we're wiped out?
True.
The things at the center of all of this is justice. If we don't have justice in our country, we don't have a life, we don't have liberty, we don't have freedom. And I mean, I think there's a part of that. I just want to go back to one thing that Gary had mentioned, talking about, you know, they're so good at getting us to be quiet. You know, I had a conversation with one of the lawyers just a few days ago, where it's like, for all the lawyers out there telling their clients not to talk to anybody, not to get off social media, don't give interviews. What is that accomplishing? Just tell me, what is that accomplishing? Because they're already getting the worst case scenario. What needs to happen is every single J6 defendant needs to be loud, proud, and tell the truth. You know, we can't expect to ever move the needle of justice if we're sticking our head in the sand and hoping the bullying stops or the corruption stops. You know what I mean? So,
well, the sad truth, Randy, is they've bullied a large majority of America into submission. You know, I mean, the people who immediately got fired after coming home from Washington, D.C., even in the vicinity of Washington, D.C., saying something about the January 6th, the prisoners on social media, losing their jobs, losing their families. You know, the FBI showing up, months after people did nothing on January 6th. I mean, it's just, they've done a lot to really quell anybody's fire to get up and say something. And it's a shame. I mean, it's something that has to stop. And David, did you have a point on that?
Yeah, who knows how the government works better than the government, right? So maybe that's why the government's not saying anything. They know the pressure, the implication, the threats, the loss of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. If you do anything, look at the sergeant at arms, what happened to him. We really need to get to the bottom of what happened to the 4 cops. We need to find out what happened. Even some of the J6ers that they say are suicides may not be suicides. We need the thorough investigations on that by teams like this that really care about the truth. And when you think about who's scared about it, listen, when they're using foreign stuff on us, FISA, the F in FISA is for foreign. And they're trying to flip this foreign thing to domestic so they can do this to all of us. That's what we're trying to express to people. And I don't care what side you're on either, man. That's the thing. It's not about politics at this point. We're going to lose everything. When 2000 Mules said they were tracking people well before January 6th, let that sink in for a little while. They knew who would be there. They knew where they were coming from. They knew what was going on. And yet they say they didn't know anything was happening. This is the craziest time we live in. That's why you can't be scared. We need 6 or 8% of the people, more than the 3. We're not going to get 50, but we're going to keep trying and find these people that are, verbal fight. We're not looking for physical, like I said, but we need people that have some spunk and don't mind getting out there and being loud. Look, these guys in prison, they're like, what am I got to lose? My lawyer won't say anything. The judges won't, the attorneys, nobody can see any of this footage. I might as well say something. It's not going to hurt me. They're already telling me I'm going to go to jail for 30 years. What wrong is it of me saying that it's all lies out loud in the public, man? And dude, just sharing these stories for these people helps so much. Writing them letters gives them hope. And it's been a long time. It's like the Alamo. We can send them reinforcements. We can. They're not dead yet. We can save these people. And yet, man, this is you're talking over 600 days since the pipe bomb, or what happened to that, and the FBI is a big joke. And I don't think all of them, I think there's some good guys in there, like with anything, but good grief, we need more than a dozen whistleblowers right now.
Do we have any type of central repository where each of the defendants that are still being held, we have addresses where we can find this information, where people can reach out?
Patriot Mail Project does a real good job with that. As far as the letter writing, patriotmailproject.org.
Okay.
And they are awesome for that. There's prayer group at Prisoners Record. There's a lot of different places to help.
Randy, also, if you're just a listener, you don't know anything about January 6th, you want to look up some of these individuals, these heroes, you go to AmericanGulag.org, and they have a really good archive of all the arrests and everything. You can find their gifts and goes, and they all really do need the help. Randy, you also probably have a list of a couple websites.
Yeah, we have, and we actually just posted, there's a website that we created, I created for Micki. It's called www.4Ashli, ASHLI.com. On that page, we actually have a roll call of all of those indefinitely detained. And not only is it a roll call, we've gotten to a point where when we're at the jail, we actually have to call out the roll call, how many days they've been indefinitely detained. But on that website particularly, we have the mailing address for each one of those guys. So, Patriot Mail Project, like Dave mentioned, does a phenomenal job. Has a lot of that information. So I would invite everybody to go to there. There's not only that, but there's also a call to action page on forashli.com, which lists out all the different organizations and the help that they give. Stop Hate is certainly one of them. Condemned USA, Gary's. Is it M5 Gary or?
M5,
I heard something 6K6.
All right. Well, gentlemen, we've reached the top of the hour. We're going to need to wrap it up. So I'm going to have each of you go around and give your final thoughts. Tell everybody where they can find you. And let's begin with AJ. AJ, what would you like to have the audience take away from tonight?
Please visit Investigate J6. I think we can do a lot if we get some donation funds, save these guys. I want to give a shout out to Ethan Nordine. He's been locked up since January 6th. He's a great man. He's a patriot. Joe Biggs and a lot of other guys really need your help. They did absolutely nothing wrong. They were attacked on the west side at 1 o'clock before anyone entered the Capitol, and the J6 committee has conveniently left that out. So we need to give them support, and you need to demand that everyone you vote for does a real J6 investigation and highlights the stuff that we all know here. The 14,000 hours of footage needs to come out. Thank you.
All right. Where else can people find you, AJ?
My personal social media, I'm on free speech social media, so Truth Social and Gab and Rumble at J6 Proud Patriot. And we also have a Twitter page for Investigate J6. You can find us there and just go to our website, investigatej6.org.
Okay, great. Thank you for being here.
God bless you.
God bless you as well, brother. And Gary, how about you, sir?
You can find me at n5newsgate.com. Also contributor on the Prisoner Network, or the new Prisoner number 6. Let's see, Twitter at N5 News Texas or TX. But I just would like everybody to, if you find my Rumble page at N5 News, share the videos that all of us have. Whatever we have out, share it and share it, share it, share it. That's the only way we can get this out as much as we can for people to see. And we have stuff that it's always coming up every day or every week. But that's where we need a lot of help. I just share what we are putting out there because it's the truth.
All right. Thank you for being here.
Thank you,
Randy, go ahead, sir. But yeah,
Yes,
unmute.
I would just one of the things I would say is we actually had a little bit of a win last week. Actually, just a couple of days ago, Micki and I found out that Alan Jackson was getting released on pretrial detention. Was able to go home. He spent like 2.5 months at Northern Neck facility. So Micki and I drove down. We were there on the ground when he stepped foot out of the jail. We brought him to a restaurant. Gave him, while he was having a burger and all of that, his wife had been traveling. And my goodness, it's like, and Dave and Gary and all, you guys who have worked in this for so long, being there and seeing that, a very, very emotional moment. Not only that, but he had, this is another thing about it, is he had a brother that was also arrested there at Northern Neck, but in a different pod. And Brandon Fellows happened to call me while we were having lunch, and we were able to put the two brothers on and to talk to each other. So that was really cool too. And that's one of the things that we do at Americans for Justice. We're in the process of creating a wraparound services where, I think the one thing, and Dave and Gary and Tommy may know, but it's like when these guys leave jail, whether they're done with their sentence, whether they get out on pretrial release, they're just pushed out of the jail, sometimes in the dead of night. They have absolutely nothing, no phone, no money, no ID, nothing. And one of the things that we want to do with Americans for Justice is have a person there on the ground when they get out, put them up for the night, arrange travel home. And if they need it, arrange housing for the first 90 days or so. And I think that's the one thing that I've seen, especially like with Brian Mock. Brian Mock is a perfect example. When these guys get out, there's an adjustment period that I think a lot of us just don't even realize. So, keep up the fight. You want to support us, go to aforjustice.com. I'm sorry, .org. Stop Hate has excellent resources, and all of the guys here, please. There's not enough resources. I think everybody here can testify. There's not enough money. There's not enough people. I probably average 3 or 4 hours of sleep a night, much like all the guys here. Yeah. We need help.
All right, Randy, thanks again for being here. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, absolutely, anytime. And Tommy, final thoughts, and where can people find you?
Yeah, so a lot of my story today was about Roseann Boyland, and we didn't have time to get to it. It's kind of a forum, but if you go to my Rumble channel, it's Tommy Tatum News, all one word, and I just did an interview with the Gateway Pundit about it real quick. You can basically hear my story about what happened to Roseann Boyland, and the reason I'm so attached to this is because I was with her for 8 minutes before they killed her, and I feel like I'm one of the only people who can truly tell exactly what happened to her in the last minutes of her life. And then it's like a double whammy for me because there's like a dozen guys in that jail in DC that are there in part for trying to save my life. And they did, like Jay Lane saved my life that day. So my Rumble channel's got a lot of really good footage and stuff. I also have a website called the Washington County Auditors, like a personal blog. And I kind of keep that around as like an archive of all the stories I've written. And I use a lot of Everybody Hears footage and things like that. But so my socials everywhere that I'm not banned, it's Tommy Tatum News on Truth and Gab and all that getter. So, but I would encourage everybody to go to everybody's Rumble channels. But I have some unique stuff I found that's on there. So,
hey, Tommy, I was on Roseann's last minutes too, and I just want to thank you for speaking up.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here, Tommy. All right, and Bobby, how about you, sir? Final words.
Okay. Well, make this quick and simple. I'm a pretty good journalist, but I suck as a businessman. I am giving away my footage. I have put it all in a Dropbox. And if you go right here, how do you like my redneck graphics? BobbyPowell.substack.com. You go there and you'll find the link to that Dropbox. I relinquish copyright for any individual to take my video, make their own content, and re-upload it to the internet. I don't care about getting paid. I just want this information out there because this is history. This is the most important thing that has happened to this country since I've been alive. This is bigger than Tonkin Gulf. This is bigger than 9/11. Our own government attacked this nation. Okay, so we have to put a stop to it. So go right here to BobbyPowell.substack.com and you download my video, you take it and you share it everywhere. This, like Greg Phillips always says, this is an information war. We are in the midst of a battle. You do not get to sit back and chug a coffee or smoke a cigarette and just take it easy. Okay, kids, we are at war and you need to get off your butt and you need to start doing something about it. So you go to BobbyPowell.substack.com, you download my video and you share it everywhere. Share all my stories and call your congressman. Tell them that you've seen this video. Tell them that you know that they have seen it and you expect them to do something about it. And while you're there, if you have a hole in your pocket with some money, throw me this thumb drive's not and travel. It's all expensive. So just throw me $1 or $2. I mean, my gosh, I've spent $20,000 in the last 6 months trying to get this information out. And I had to sell my house because I was demonetized everywhere. So, I've got a roof over my head. I've got plenty of food to eat. I don't care about myself, but I do care about this mission and I need the tools to complete it. So, if you have the ability, go to givesendandgo.com/Bobby Powell, throw me a couple of bucks. And I guess that's all I got.
Well, thank you, Bobby. I've used your videos here on the channel before, and I appreciate your work and the fact that you keep continuing to pound this into people's heads. And finally, David, thank you again for being here.
Hey, it's an honor to be here. I am glad to be amongst such heroes in this fight. Every one of you guys, thank you so much. I've worked with everybody here except Bobby, and I think that's just about to change. We've got a lot of work to do. And listen, that's what we need more help with, in every single way. People that are investigators, people have skills, they can make videos, they can write stories. Everybody can share. If everybody watching this shared a couple of times a day. Don't just share it one time, guys. This is not that game. You have to be repetitious like the left. Share. When you get sick of sharing, share 10 more times.
Amen.
That's the way to do this. The like button doesn't do anything. Nobody sees that. It's the share, the retweet, the repost. Please, 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 daily. Do that for a couple of months. See if it doesn't make a difference. To support the prisoners through our website, just go to stophate.com/J6. And like I said, there's a bunch of calls to action. If you got a couple bucks, get off your butt because you're sitting on your wallet. That's what I always say. And help these people. I mean, it's just one of those things that even a meal, a cup of coffee, a car payment, a boat payment, a house payment, everybody on this show, Bobby, I know your story too. We've all thrown everything we have. It's founding father stuff, fortune, reputation, life. It's on the line. I know these guys' situations as well. We're all the same. We're all in. We're not asking people to replace what we put in. We're asking them to match us, help us. We promise we'll do more. We won't waste your efforts or energy either. So stophate.com, you can follow us on all that stuff, watch all the movies, do all that stuff. I just appreciate the opportunity to do this. God bless you and all your viewers, my friend.
Thank you very much. God bless every single person here.
I had to sell my boat. And that was my retirement plan. I was going fishing, man.
Oh man,
I'll go fishing with you when we get done.
Good show, brother.
You guys, I've got a couple of thank yous to give the audience. I want to make sure there's no questions before we turn this off. Let's see. TikTok says this is going to be one that you all do not want to miss. Let's get it out there in the open. I want to say thank you to Ohio Kimmy. Tamara Growl says excellent guest, Zach. Thank you to J2 Dank and Sean Joe. Pacific Northwest Sasquatch says thank you guys for all you do. Thank you to Sean Joe, Popcorn17. How about we all tag Marjorie Taylor Greene, Gates, and Jordan on Truth Social and Facebook and call as many as possible as you can. Let them know about the vids. You know, every single one of us has representatives and senators. You guys can call every single day. You can call any of them at any time. You don't even have to live in their district to call their office.
I'd like to thank Zach Payne, Red Pill 78 News, for having me on the show. That J6 roundtable was very informative. I learned some stuff, and I hope that you did too. And I'd like to thank also Joe Altman and Benghazi hero Tiegen over at Conservative Daily Podcast for having me on their show. I thought that these last 3 hours were pretty good. I hope that you enjoyed it too. And if you appreciate the effort, please go to bobbypowell.substack.com and subscribe over there. Subscriptions are free. However, if you'd like to contribute to the effort and you feel like it's worth your time, your hard-earned dollars, you can buy a paid subscription for as little as $5 a month. And I want to thank Micki Witthoeft, Ashli Babbitt's mom, for inviting me to come to Washington, D.C. for their rally on September 24th. That's why I'm fundraising with this copy of Insight Magazine. I have 5 of them, and I'm going to sign this for you and mail it off to you for only $500. This is a beautiful magazine. A 4-page glossy centerfold. I never thought I'd be a centerfold, but here I am. 4 pages of glossy full color ink there, baby. So yeah, go to givesandgo.com/Bobby Powell and throw me $500 and you get one. And I want to thank everybody for watching The Truth is Viral. You guys are really something, and I'm proud to know you. My name is Bob Powell, and as always, God bless, Semper Fi, and hoorah. You guys have a great Labor Day weekend. I think I'm going to go put my toes in the ocean, maybe snorkel a little bit. I don't know, have a fruity umbrella drink. I think I've earned it. Have a great weekend, kids. I'll see you next week.
That's all, folks.